From Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan, it's almost time for Rockford Rivets baseball.
Better off myself for the future.
Yeah, certainly a lot of exposure comes with the league. Now,
Treats us and, gets us off to good schools. So he's a great coach, great guy overall, just great person.
yeah, certainly I can see that in my few conversations with him. Certainly a real nice guy. Now, down here in Rockford, you've got a few teammates on the squad, Peter Fusick and the catcher Jake Kleekamp. When you've got a catcher coming from your junior college into a setting like this in the Northwoods League, how much more comfortable does that make you on the mound?
Oh my gosh, it's so much comfortable, especially with a guy like Kleekamp. Obviously, this was his first year at MAT, really bonded and stuff like that. But Jake's just a great teammate, great catcher. He knows what he's doing. So anytime you have like that, especially just being around Jake from previous times, it just makes my life on the mound so much easier. And especially with this being the Northwoods League and stuff like that, gets a lot of attention. Gets a lot of attention. So having a guy like Jake behind the dish anytime I'm on the mound, just sigh of relief. Great guy, great catcher, knows how to call my stuff, and we just work well. We work really well together.
From Milwaukee Area Tech to the Rockford Rivets this summer. Cruz, that's all I got for you. Thanks for taking the time, and good luck today out of the bullpen.
Thank you very much for having me, Larry. Appreciate it.
That was Rockford Rivets reliever Cruz Wagner, the freshman from Milwaukee Area Technical College. Good to chat with him about his season this spring, and happy to see him back on this Rockford Rivets roster. Certainly a guy that loves the game of baseball. Sometimes that's all you can ask for. He's available out of the Rockford Rivets bullpen today, and that has been a problem as of late for the Rivets, who made this trip with just 13 players available to play. Yesterday, manager J.T. Scara pitched 2 position players in relief of Rockford starter James Raffoff, and in turn, that saved 2 arms for today's game. Taking a look at today's pitching matchup while we're on that note, it'll be the right-hander out of Heidelberg University taking the ball for Rockford, Ross Thompson. At Heidelberg in 11 starts this season, he pitched 69 2/3 innings, posting a 4.52 ERA, 51 strikeouts and 15 walks for Ross. He'll square off against the left-hander from Olivet Nazarene, Aaron Gustafson. Gustafson, a name that many Rockford folks might recognize. He's a native of Rockton, Illinois, and attended Hononegah High School. We'll get to his numbers here in a little bit, but boy, he had a really good spring for Olivet Nazarene. He's got a great changeup, and he fired a perfect game in 7 innings back on May 1st. We'll chat about him here in a little bit. Taking a look at today's weather forecast here in Traverse City, it might cause some problems. Right now, it's a very overcast sky. There's a little bit of rain coming down. As there is rain in the forecast, spotty showers as a rain system moves in from the northwest here into northwest Michigan. So go figure, the Rivets probably don't want to deal with that on travel day. But we'll see if that becomes a factor. It is an all-turf field here at Turtle Creek Stadium, and it is a hitter's park. 320 down both lines and 400 to dead center field. And we saw the all-turf come into play a few times yesterday on ground balls in the infield. Certainly takes some getting used to for Rivets players. It's a hitter's park, but the wind has been blowing out all day, and that wind has now since calmed down just a little bit. It was blowing out to straight center field, and now the American flag flying on a white pole in left center is completely still. The lights are on at Turtle Creek Stadium, and it's almost time to introduce the starting lineups for both squads. We'll take a short break before our national anthem and then come back with the starting lineups for the Rockford Rivets and the Traverse City Pittsburghers. You're listening to the Rockford Rivets Radio Network.
our national anthem, presented by Cherryland Electric Cooperative. Tonight's national anthem will be sung by our own Connor Miller. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
There was a beautiful rendition of our great nation's national anthem by the Traverse City Pit Spitters on-field host Connor Miller. Not every day you don't hear a recorded version at some of these ballparks, so that's certainly refreshing. Rockford Rivets and Traverse City Pit Spitters about to get underway. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Rockford Rivets, managed by J.T. Scara. Dylan Robertson bats leadoff and plays second base. The freshman from Iowa Western moves up to the top spot. A lot of lineup shakeups for the Rivets today. Daniel Gutierrez, the shortstop from Roosevelt University, bats second and plays shortstop. Wade Elliott bats third and plays third base. Peter Fusick plays center field and will bat fourth. Jake Kleekamp, the catcher, moves up to the 5 spot. Zach Beatty drops from 4 to 6 in today's order. He'll play first base. Troy Tucci is out in left. He'll bat 7th. Jared Herzog, the freshman from Rockford University, will play right field and bat 8th. And the pitcher, Ross Thompson, in the 9th spot, batting for himself. Here's the lineup for the host Traverse City Pit Spitters, managed by Josh Rebant. Trey Truitt will bat leadoff and play right field. Christian Faust will play third base and bat second, the junior from Grand Valley State University. Miles Symington making his Northwoods League debut today. The redshirt junior from Purdue plays left field. Colin Summerhill behind the plate, batting fourth. Johannes Hawkinson, the former Rivet, batting fifth and playing center field. Jake Arnold will bat sixth and play first base. Adam Proctor, the redshirt junior from Michigan State, is the DH. He'll bat seventh. Aiden Brewer bats eighth and plays second. And Camden Trofin-Conte, the shortstop freshman from Stetson, will round it out for Josh Rebant. The warm-ups are done for Traverse City pitcher Aaron Gustafson, the Rockford area native. Traverse City in their home whites with Pit Spitters in script font across the front with their main pit spitting logo across the front. Red caps, red bills, black shoes. As for the Rivets, they're in their traveling grays, dark gray trousers, dark gray tops, with gold numbers in Rockford across the front. Gustafson ready to work, lefty against lefty, fires the first pitch, and Robertson slaps it into left center field and drops it in for a base hit on the first hit of the game. He takes a big round around first base and retreats back. He thought about taking a hustle double there. He didn't, and the Rivets have a base runner after the first pitch of the ball game. Just getting underway at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, scoreless ball game. Just getting underway at 6:42 p.m. Gustafson working from the stretch to the right-hander Daniel Gutierrez, who watches a first pitch fastball, misses low and away. Reggie Drummer is the home plate umpire. William Pascal will man first base, and Nate Hall at third base. Gutierrez squared off against Gustafson and CCAC conference play at the NAIA level this spring. Here's the 1-0 to him. Fastball right down the middle, taken for a strike, and it's 1-1. I talked to Gutierrez about that matchup, and he said he hit a leadoff double off of Gustafson. We'll see if he can find similar success here. Gustafson gives a look at the runner at first and comes home with a 1-1. Changeup swung on and missed. That one fell off the table, and it's 1-2 on the Rockford shortstop. Gutierrez was 1 for 4 yesterday in a Rivets loss. He's 2 for 10 so far this season. Gustafson looking in for the sign from the catcher, Colin Summerhill. Comes set at the belt, and he will throw over to check on Robertson, who's just a step away from the bag. Back safely without a dive. He quickly takes another lead, takes an even more aggressive lead. Robertson, the freshman, with good speed. Gustafson gives him a look. And now comes home with the 1-2. Off speed, slapped the opposite way, falling fast, but the center fielder Hawkinson makes the play above his left shoulder. And Daniel Gutierrez is retired for the first out of the ball game. Scored an F8. And that brings up Wade Elliott with a runner on first base. 1 down, top half of the first. We are scoreless in Traverse City. Traverse City likes to get creative with their walk-up music for opposing batters, and frankly, it's all very annoying music, so they're trying to throw off opposing batters. Elliott steps up, was 1 for 4 yesterday, 3 for 10 so far on the Young Northwoods League season. Gustafson sets and comes home with the first pitch. Fastball on the outer black, taken for a called strike. Wade Elliott, the sophomore, headed to Louisiana Tech in the fall. Played 2 seasons at Grayson College in Denison, Texas. 0-1 to him. Curveball, chopped foul. Down the third base line. Adam Proctor, the DH, out to snag that and head back into the third base dugout for Traverse City. Gustafson out in front now, 0-2. An efficient worker is Gustafson, standing at 6'4", 195. Sets just below the chest and chucks over to first base to check on the base runner Robertson. Again, back without a dive. Middle infield for Traverse City, shaded up the middle and double play depth. Peter Fusick waits on deck for the Rivets. Gustafson comes home with the 0-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. 4 strike 3. It was a bit of an awkward swing from Wade Elliott. Looked like he couldn't make up his mind as to whether or not he wanted to swing. And he's out number 2 here in the top half of the first. Rivets nothing, Pittsbitters nothing. Robertson on first base for Peter Fusick, who again walks up to Dude Looks Like a Lady as he sports long brown hair in the right-handed batter's box. Lefty against righty. First pitch swung on and missed. Gustafson going with the first pitch fastball there on the outer half. And talking with Daniel Gutierrez, who faced Gustafson earlier this season, he said the changeup is his strikeout pitch. He's also got a curveball and a fastball in the high 80s. Here's the 0-1. Fusick waves and misses, another fastball up high. Peter's been working through some hitches in his swing, particularly with his swing takeaway after he takes his stride. He doesn't think he's taking his stride quick enough. Gustafson comes home with the 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses outside. Although baseball players are creatures of habit, they're certainly always trying to adjust things in their swing. Fusick is certainly analytical with his. Stares out at Gustafson. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and flied into right field. The right fielder, Trey Truitt, watches it sail into the Rockford Rivets bullpen, out of play. And we'll have another 1-2 pitch. Robertson was off with the pitch. He was near third base, and now he trots back. Gustafson gets a new baseball, working from the stretch. Fires the 1-2. Tapper to second base. It's soft. Brewer makes the play and throws to first, and it's in the dirt, and it gets by Jake Arnold. Robertson moves up to third. Fusick moves up to second, and the Rivets have 2 runs in scoring position here in the top half of the first. Scoreless ball game, and the Rivets have a great chance to score for the first time in the second consecutive game. That'll likely be scored a throwing error on Brewer. It scored a single and an error. Gustafson ready to deliver to Jake Kleekamp. First pitch, fastball, misses above the letters to the catcher. This is another matchup that these two counterparts have seen before. Kleekamp and Gustafson squared off in the NIC 10 conference in Northern Illinois. Gustafson going to Hononegah High School. Kleekamp going to Guilford in Rockford. 1-0 pitch. Changeup misses high and away. And it's 2-0. Kleekamp was 1 for 4 yesterday and belted a double down the left field line in his last plate appearance. That was subject to much debate in the Rivets clubhouse before today's game. It was ruled a ground rule double. Gustafson sets at the belt and comes home. Fastball misses high, and it's 3-0 on the sophomore from Milwaukee Area Technical College. Kleekamp thought the ball was a home run. A lot of Rivets players thought it was a ground rule double because they saw the ball bounce. And upon video review, it looked like it was a home run as it bounced over the wall. Gustafson ready for the 3-0 pitch, and here it is. Fastball misses high and in, and the bases are loaded in the Rockford first for Zach Beatty. Scoreless ball game, but that could change quickly. Zach Beatty has got to get on here. There's 2 outs for Rockford, but a prime opportunity that you don't want to squander against a good Pitt Spitters pitching staff. Gustafson gazes in for the sign. Here's the first pitch. Lefty against righty. Fastball misses low. Ball 1. Zach Beatty was 0 for 3 yesterday and is 2 for 11 so far in the Northwoods League. He doubled back on opening day in Kenosha. Narrow batting stance in the right-handed batter's box. Waves his bat. Here's the 1-0. Fastball misses high and away. And it's 2-0. Gustafson dealing 6 straight balls. Kleekamp on first base after a walk. Peter Fusick on second after a single and an E4. And Dylan Robertson on third base after a leadoff single. Nobody being held. Pitt Spitters infield playing back. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Zach Beatty. Misses upstairs, and it's 3-0. And now Colin Summerhill, the catcher, will take a moment to walk out and calm down his arm. It's a quick visit. Summerhill trots back inside the artificial turf circle around home plate. It's all artificial turf here at Turtle Creek Stadium. The infield is colored a dirt color, though. A dark brown surrounded by lighter green. 3-0 pitch from Gustafson. Fastball right down the middle, taken for strike 1. Crowd likes that. Gustafson finds the zone after dealing 7 straight balls. Hitters count for Zach Beatty. Has struck out a lot, has popped out a lot, trying to find the middle here. Gustafson's 3-1. Fastball low, ball 4. And a run comes home to score. Rivets on top 1-0 with 2 outs in the top half of the first. Zach Beatty picks up his second walk of the campaign, moves everybody up 90 feet. Fusick to third now, Kleekamp to second. And Beatty on first for the redshirt senior from Rockford University, Troy Tucci. Tucci was 0 for 3 and is 1 for 11 on the campaign. Gustafson has his sign, looks at Fusick at third base. Comes home with the first pitch. Low curveball taken for strike 1. Pronounced strike call from the home plate umpire, Reggie Drummer. Tucci in the right-handed batter's box, waves the bat back and forth. Now brings it up to his shoulder, sporting a white throwing sleeve on his right arm. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Colin Summerhill. And it's 0-2. Summerhill might have gotten a piece of that one on his arm as he took the ball nearly halfway out to Gustafson to take a little more time. Now he's back behind the plate in his crouch, puts the mask back on, and we're ready to go. Gustafson, the tall left-hander, looking to avoid more trouble here in the top half of the first. Rivets on top 1-0. Here's the 0-2 to Tucci. Poked into shallow right field. Trey Truitt, the right fielder, calls everybody off and makes the play head high. And that's the end of the first inning. The Rivets strand the bases loaded, but they get one run on a bases loaded walk from Zach Beatty. Rockford strikes first once again, and after a half inning, it's the Rivets 1, Pittsbitters coming up on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the first in Traverse City, and Rockford leads the Traverse City Pittsbitters by a score of 1-0. Rivets getting their one run on a bases-loaded walk by Zach Beatty in the top half, and now Ross Thompson takes the ball for Rockford. The redshirt junior from Heidelberg University out in Ohio stands at 5'11", 165 on the mound. Pitched a 4.52 ERA this spring at Heidelberg in 11 starts, but Thompson, a 2020 Rockford Rivet as well, made 7 innings and pitched 7 innings in a few appearances with a 1.29 ERA, 7 strikeouts, and a save in the final game of the season, which was a Rockford Rivets victory. He impressed JT Scara enough for the Rockford Rivets manager to bring him back for his second season, and he drew a full season contract. So Thompson can start the whole entire season if he does well. This is his first start in game number 4. Game number 4 for both these squads. Traverse City 3-0, Rockford 1-2. Trey Truitt will start this Traverse City order. Truitt, Christian Faust, and Miles Symington due up to start Traverse City off in the bottom half of the first. Trey Truitt had a monstrous day yesterday, 3 for 5, including a triple and 3 RBIs. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Thompson from the windup. First pitch, slapped into left field, and it falls in front of Troy Tucci for a leadoff single. In the top half of the first, Dylan Robertson started the game with a base knock that was nearly identical to Truitt's just now. So non-traditional leadoff batter approaches from both sides, and Traverse City has a base runner to start their day in the lineup. Christian Faust now steps up with the runner on first. Rivets on top 1-0. Thompson from the stretch sets at the belt and comes home to Traverse City's third baseman. Fastball fouled straight back, right near the press box, out of play. 0-1. Christian Faust, the redshirt junior from Grand Valley State, was 2 for 4 yesterday with 2 ribbies. Trey Truitt, the redshirt freshman from North Carolina State, takes his lead off first base. He's got good speed. We saw him swipe a few bags yesterday. Thompson, not giving him a look, comes home for the 0-1. Fastball misses upstairs. Perhaps it was a changeup at 79 miles per hour, and it's 1-1. Thompson features predominantly a fastball slider changeup mix. His slider can probably be categorized as the wipeout variety. The 1-1 is laced into left field, and again, it falls in front of Troy Tucci. Back-to-back singles in the Traverse City first inning. Runners on first and second for Miles Symington, who steps to the plate, making his first Northwoods League at-bat. Rivets on top of Traverse City, 1-0, bottom of the first. Symington, the redshirt junior from Purdue, native of Normal, Illinois, attended Normal Community High School and was a 2-sport star there, played both baseball and football. Joined the team just today. He's got some pop from the left side of the plate. Standing at 5'9", 210, but don't let the frame fool you. Here's Ross Thompson's first pitch to him. Fastball called strike. Outer third for Thompson. He gets the ball back from the catcher, Kleekamp, takes a deep breath, steps on the rubber, puts the ball behind his back and fidgets with it. Gets his sign, sets at the belt. Pauses before the 0-1, long pause, and now he comes home. Curveball in there for a called strike, again on the outer half, and it's 0-2. Miles Symington steps out of the box, moves his head around as if to say, all right, that's the zone I'm dealing with. Taps his front foot, which is protected by a shin guard. Waves his black ash bat around a few times. Sets up his open batting stance and awaits the 0-2 from Thompson. It's on the way. Swung on and popped to the left side of the Rockford infield. Wade Elliott, the third baseman, moves up the line and makes the grab. And there's one down.
Here's the catcher for the Pittsburghers, Colin Summerhill.
That brings up the cleanup batter, Colin Summerhill. With two runners on, Trey Truitt on second base after a leadoff single, and Christian Faust on first base. Summerhill was 0 for 4 with an RBI yesterday. 1 for 11 so far for the Pittsburghers this season. Right-hander against right-hander. Thompson looks back Truitt, and now he comes home. Curveball misses inside. Summerhill jumps out of the way of that pitch. Summerhill, another Illinois native of Chicago, Illinois. He's a freshman at Triton College, and he's got major pop. 8 home runs there this spring, 39 RBIs. Was second on the squad in slugging percentage. 0-1 pitch, runner goes, swung on, miss, throw down to third base, and they got him by a mile. It looked like it may have been a delayed steal by Trey Truitt trying to swipe third base, and Kleekamp had none of it. Behind the plate for Rockford, he hoses him, and there's 2 down. Christian Faust stays at first base. Now it's just 1 runner on. 2 down for Colin Summerhill. Rivets on top 1-0 in the bottom of the first. 1-1 pitch to Summerhill. Curveball bounced, gets away from Kleekamp. He doesn't know where it is. Faust moves up to second base, and he stops there. Kleekamp recovers and fires the ball back to Thompson. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Summerhill played left field yesterday. Everybody working through some roster kinks here in this first week of the Northwoods League season. Traverse City in a little bit better shape than the Rivets, though. Rivets with just 13 players on this trip, some of which are pitchers. Thompson comes home with a 2-1. Fastball swung on and fouled into the concourse off the right side. Back even at 2-2. Both pitchers laboring a little bit in the first inning. Thompson just at 12 pitches. If he can get Summerhill here, that would certainly be ideal. Thompson, a strikeout pitcher, looking for his first K. Kleekamp sets up low and away. The 2-2. Fastball popped up out to the right side. First baseman Beatty makes a long run and can't make the play just in front of the Rivets dugout. Beatty at 6'6", 275. Was moving fast, but could not get there. So we'll have another 2-2 pitch. Ross Thompson gets a new baseball, rubs it with his two bare hands. Now he sticks his glove back on and prepares for the 2-2 pitch. The set and the delivery. Swung on and hit well into deep left field. Troy Tucci, long run into the gap, and that one falls. Coming around to score is Faust. Summerhill on his way to third base. He slides in safely. It's an RBI triple for Colin Summerhill. And Traverse City takes the lead in the first inning. Or excuse me, ties it up in the first inning. It's 1-1. And now that failed steal of third base by Trey Truitt really looks like a big deal because he would have scored and that would have given Traverse City the lead. Instead, it's just 1-1. Both teams pushing across a run in the first frame. Here's Johannes Hawkinson. First pitch. Fastball in there for a called strike. Hawkinson was 0 for 4 yesterday. Had an RBI and reached twice, once on a walk and once on a drop third strike, and he came around to score. 0-1 pitch. Fastball fouled straight back. Quickly 0-2. Thompson's a little frustrated with himself after allowing that triple. Was not the best play by Troy Tucci out in left field. Took a bad angle to it, and he got past him to the wall. It won't matter if Thompson can get Hawkinson, the former Rockford Rivet, here. 0-2 pitch. Curveball fouled straight back again, and we'll do it over. Early scoring, a theme in these two teams' two-game set. Rivet scored 1 run in the second inning yesterday, and Traverse City responded with 4. So you could say that the Pitts Bitters are pretty good at responding. Josh Rebant always has the boys ready to play up here in northwestern Michigan. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball fouled off again, and the battle rages on. Third consecutive foul ball. That ball falls off the press box roof right into the stands, and it looks like a dad made a play there with his bare hand, reached behind him to make that play, and hands the ball to one of his daughters just below us in the press box. Thompson ready for another 0-2 pitch to Johannes Hawkinson. On the way, and it's fouled back. 4 straight. Bounced off the cement barrier behind home plate. And Hawkinson stopped it with his bat as it caromed back. Hawkinson, the junior from Concordia University, Wisconsin. One of 3 Falcons in the Great Lakes East. Sam Beers and Sean Tillman playing for the Kenosha Kingfish in the early going here. Another 0-2 pitch. Curveball misses low and away. 1-2. Kleekamp looks Colin Summerhill back to third base before tossing it back to Thompson. Summerhill not being held by the Rockford third baseman Wade Elliott. Thompson sets at the belt. Kicks and fires the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses a hair outside. Thompson was ready to walk back to the first base dugout. And instead, the count is back even at 2-2. What a battle between these two righties. Hawkinson fouling off 4 straight pitches before taking 2 balls. 2-2 offering. Fastball chopped back to the mound. Thompson leaps, makes the grab, and flips to first in time to get a hustling Johannes Hawkinson, and that ends the bottom half of the first inning. But Traverse City draws even with Rockford thanks to an RBI triple by Colin Summerhill, scoring Christian Faust. And the score after 1, Rivets 1, Pitts Bitters 1 on the Rivets Radio Network. Going to the second inning in Traverse City, Michigan. It's Rivets 1, Pittsbitters 1. Both starting pitchers working laborious first innings, and Aaron Gustafson, the left-hander for Traverse City, is back out there for a second inning of work to face 8-9-1 in the Screws order after they left the bases loaded in the first inning, scoring 1 run on a Zach Beatty walk. Jared Herzog steps in, lefty against lefty. First pitch on the way. Slow curveball, drops too much, and it's ball 1. Misses low and away to Herzog. Gustafson quickly back to work, 1-0. Fastball misses low, and it's 2-0. Gustafson standing at 6'4", 195. Fires the 2-0. Fastball upstairs, and it's 3-0. Gustafson lost his command in the first inning, firing about 7 straight balls. 4-pitch walk to Jake Kleekamp, and then followed that up with 3 more. Now he comes back on 3-0 and misses inside. And it's a leadoff walk issued to Jared Herzog. That's the first time he's been on base this season. Entered this one 0 for 11 and was 0 for 3 yesterday. So here's the pitcher, Ross Thompson, batting for himself. Rockford going National League style for this 2-game set in Traverse City. Short-handed Rivets looking to salvage the series with their Great Lakes East rival. First pitch, runner takes off, fastball taken inside, and Herzog is nailed at second base. Shortstop Camden Traficante slapped the tag down on Herzog as he's cut down trying to swipe second. 1 down here in the second. Tie ball game 1-1. 1-0 pitch. Called strike to Thompson. Delayed call from the home plate umpire. And the count is back even at 1-1. Ones are wild. Rivets 1, Traverse City 1, ball 1, strike 1, 1 out in the second. 1-1 pitch. Fastball dots the outside part of the plate, and it's 1-2. Thompson up there not swinging at all. He might swing away with 2 strikes, though. But as a pitcher, really a PO, you don't want to get hurt. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball high and away. Back even at 2-2. Thompson is 0 for 2 this season. Got stuck out in right field in the Rivets Tuesday matchup with Kenosha. 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball reached out and poked foul by Thompson. A good battle from the Rockford right-handed starting pitcher. Taps the outside part of the plate, swings his bat around. Here comes the 2-2. Curveball misses low, and it's 3-2. Gustafson in danger of working a second consecutive batter. Of course, the bases are empty after Herzog was caught stealing. Gustafson winds and deals the payoff pitch. Fastball called strike 3. And Thompson was on his way to first base, and now he'll take a slight right turn to move towards the dugout instead of first base. Thompson's rung up. Second strikeout of the evening for Aaron Gustafson. And there's 2 down. Here's the leadoff man, Dylan Robertson, who scored the Rivets' first run of this game last inning after leading off the ball game with a first pitch single into left. Open batting stance, stares out at the left-handed pitcher. And a curveball is in there for a called strike. Robertson bends at the knees and leans back after he takes that strike. Robertson showing very good approach. 0-1, swing and a foul back to the screen, and it's 0-2. But Robertson, originally scheduled to be a temporary player to start this season, the freshman from Iowa Western, but he is impressed manager JT Scara, so he's doing a good job and maybe giving himself a chance to stick around a little longer. 0-2. Fastball misses low and away as the catcher Summerhill set up low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Should we get there, Daniel Gutierrez waits on deck. The wind in the 1-2. Curveball goes about 58 feet, bounces in the artificial turf, and is taken by Robertson. Back even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Robertson, stiff batting stance, awaits the 2-2, and it's grounded softly to shortstop. Traficante charges, throws on the run, and the scoop can't be completed at first base by Jake Arnold. So the Rivets have a base runner in the second inning. We will see how that is scored. I will certainly be interested. Traverse City already has one error in this one, and that one's going to be ruled a hit. So Robertson is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. And here's Daniel Gutierrez, the redshirt sophomore from Roosevelt. Started his college career at Triton College, then moved to Chicago State, but had to move to Roosevelt after Chicago State shut down the program. First pitch, fastball misses low. Gutierrez flied out to center field back in the first. Another Rivets batter who's looked really comfortable in the Northwoods League so far. 1-0. Gustafson goes back to the fastball and is again in the artificial turf. And it's 2-0. Overcast skies in Traverse City. Lights are already on at 7:15 p.m. They didn't come on yesterday until about 8:30. Quick check on Robertson, who's back safely. Gustafson just stepped off the rubber with his back foot and chucked the ball over there. Arnold able to stop it. Now he quickly steps on. Comes set at the letters. Watches Robertson dance and now comes home. And draws a swing and a miss on a fastball up high. It's 2 balls and 1 strike on Daniel Gutierrez. Gutierrez told me the key to facing Aaron Gustafson is hunting those fastballs early in the count. Gustafson is behind in the count, so we'll see if he goes back to the fastball. 2-1, he does. Grounded sharply to third base. Christian Foss goes to second and gets the fielder's choice to end the top half of the second inning. Rockford can't do anything with a leadoff walk by Jared Herzog and a single by Dylan Robertson, and we are still tied. Rockford 1, Traverse City 1, after 1.5 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Traverse City 1, Rockford 1, going to the bottom of the second at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan. Thanks for joining us on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. In case you missed the first frame, Rockford struck first on a bases-loaded walk by Zach Beatty, and Traverse City responded with an RBI triple by Colin Summerhill in the bottom half. Ross Thompson back out there to face 6, 7, 8 in the Spitters order, starting with Jake Arnold, the redshirt junior from North Georgia. Did not play yesterday. Is 2 for 7 on the young campaign. Righty against righty. Here's the first pitch. Fastball misses low and away. Jake Arnold is a name that Northwoods League diehards might recognize from the illustrious 2019 champion team up here in Traverse City. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and laced into center field, and it hangs up long enough for Peter Fusick to make the grab. He took a few steps in, slammed on the brakes, and caught it chest high. And there's 1 out here in the second inning. Tied at 1 apiece between Great Lakes East opponents. And Adam Proctor steps to the plate. Proctor, another member of the 2019 Pitt Spitters, who set the Northwoods League record with 50 wins in the regular season. Left-handed batter, first pitch. Fastball misses inside. Proctor has some serious pop from the left side of the plate, and he's certainly an all-or-nothing guy. The wind in the 1-0. Fastball misses in about the same spot, and it's 2-0. Proctor batted .171 this spring at Michigan State. Hit 2 home runs, had just 8 RBIs and 20 strikeouts in 24 games. 2-0 pitch. Big hack and a miss on a fastball up in the zone, and it's 2-1. But Proctor hit .217 his freshman year and has hit below 200 in his other 3 seasons. The kick in the 2-1, lined sharply down the first base line, foul. First base coach for Traverse City ducking out of the way of that one. And Proctor broke his bat. Chucks it back to the pit spitter's dugout in frustration. And will head to get a new piece of lumber. He's got it. Doesn't even head to the on-deck circle to doctor it up any. He just heads right back to the left-handed batter's box. But Proctor has won the annual home run derby between Michigan State and the Lansing Lugnuts, which is the high A affiliate of the Oakland A's, twice. Won it in 2017 and 2018. 2-2 on the way. Bender misses outside. The count is full. But imagine that, a college baseball player beating professional baseball players. That shows you he can knock the ball around. The payoff pitch. Fastball jam shot flare out to second base, and Robertson moves towards center field and makes the play. After he snares it, he flips it back into the infield, and there's 2 down. Rockford 1, Traverse City 1, bottom of the 2nd inning. Bases empty for Aiden Brewer. Brewer's walk-up song, I'm a Little Teapot. Wonder if any of his teammates put him up to that. Not sure what that's about. Righty against righty, the first pitch. Fastball misses upstairs. Brewer was 1 for 2 yesterday and scored 3 runs. He's 3 for 8 so far this season. Ross Thompson working quickly, the wind in the 1-0. Fastball shot into right field, sends Herzog back. He's in front of the track and makes the play. And it's a 1-2-3 second inning for the Rockford righty Ross Thompson. And the score holds Rockford 1, Traverse City 1 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Top of the 3rd inning at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City. It's the Rivets 1 and the Pit Spitters 1. Both teams scoring 1 run in the 1st inning. Aaron Gustafson, the left-hander for Traverse City, working out of trouble in the 2nd. And he'll face 3-4-5 in the Rockford 3rd, starting with Wade Elliott. JT Scara shook up the Rockford order as Elliott moves down a spot from the 2 spot to the 3 spot today. And we pause here as the between inning entertainment carries over past the warm-up period. Not every time that you see that. But now Wade Elliott steps into the right-handed batter's box to face Aaron Gustafson. Elliott struck out his first time up in the first inning. First pitch. Swing and a foul back, and Elliott loses the bat. It goes flying into the screen to the left of the Pittsburgh's dugout. Everybody's all right. Nobody was in the way of that one. Pittsburgh's manager Josh Rebant comes off the top step to hand the bat back to Elliott. Maybe he needs a little more pine tar on that thing. Usually these things are pretty tarred up. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball high for ball one. Elliott will join a Louisiana Tech program that's currently playing in the Collegiate World Series. 1-1. Taken outside, ball two. Changeup at 82 miles per hour. Elliott, a native of Oklahoma, squared off against a fellow Edmond, Oklahoma native yesterday. 2-1. Curveball nearly catches the jersey of Elliott. He jumps out of the way. Misses inside, 3-1. The starter for Traverse City, Morgan Lunsford, went 4 innings yesterday. He's a fellow native of Oklahoma. 3-1. Fastball fouled straight back, and it's full. But I talked to Wade Elliott about that before the game yesterday. I asked him, hey, do you know Traverse City's starter? He said, no, who is it? I said, Morgan Lunsford. He said, that name sounds familiar. Looked it up on his phone. He said, oh, I know this kid. Payoff pitch. Fastball shot into the left center field gap. Long run Hawkinson, and it bounces in front of him. He's over to cut it off in the gap. Elliott's going to try for two. The throw into second is in time to get him. Rockford's third baseman gunned out, trying to stretch a single into a double. It was hit into the gap, looked like it could have been extra bases, and Johannes Hawkinson had to make a good throw to get him, and he did. So Elliott picks up a single, but is cut down after first base. There's one down for Peter Fusick. First pitch to him, tries to lay down a bunt, and he didn't pull back. That's strike one. Fusick singled and moved up to second on an error in the first inning. Was stranded on third base to end the frame. The wind in the 0-1. Curveball misses below the shins. 1-1. Fusick, the wide batting stance in the right-handed batter's box. Watches a fastball outside. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Rivets batters have been very, very patient today against Aaron Gustafson. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and lifted into center field. Hawkinson ranges towards right, reaches up and makes the play. 2 up, 2 down in the Rockford third inning. Traverse City 1, Rivets 1. And the inning comes down to Jake Kleekamp. Kleekamp reached his first time up on a walk back in the first, and he was left on second. And looking at Kleekamp's day yesterday, we mentioned it in the first inning. First pitch to Gustafson. Fastball taken for a called strike. Kleekamp doubled down the left field line on what was ruled a ground rule double. He crushed the pitch. It bounced on the warning track and hopped over the wall. 0-1, curveball falls off the table and Kleekamp swings through it. 0-2. But Kleekamp got into it, and half the stadium thought it was a home run, half the stadium thought it was a double. In fact, the umpire originally ruled it a home run. Gustafson from the windup, 0-2 pitch, misses low. 1-2. And looking at the video of the play, it looks like it bounces over the wall. So everybody in the Rivets locker room said, oh, that's a home run. 1-2 pitch, curveball chopped foul up the third base side. Kleekamp stays alive. But looking at the video closer, the ball bounces on the warning track in front of a white advertisement on the blue wall here at Traverse City. So it was a ground rule double. 1-2 pitch, poked foul. Off to the right side into the concourse. Again, bouncing on top of the suites, and it falls into the concourse, and about 5 children chase after it. Gustafson with a new baseball. Back to work, and another 1-2. Taken in the dirt. Ball 2. Kleekamp putting up a good battle in the right-handed batter's box. Gustafson shakes off his catcher Summerhill. Now he's got his sign and delivers. Fastball outside, and the count is 3-2 after Kleekamp was behind 0-2. Gustafson has not worked efficiently, up to 62 pitches through 2 2/3. Holds the glove at the belt, sidesteps, and comes home with a payoff. Misses inside, and it's a 2-out walk to Jake Kleekamp.
First baseman, Zach Beatty.
Tied at 1, top half of the third in Traverse City. Now there's a runner on with 2 out for Zach Beatty, who walked his first time up to bring home the Rivets' first run. Beatty steps in, taps the plate, and here's the first pitch. Fastball jam shot out to second base, and the second baseman Brewer ranges backwards and makes the play. So the Rivets strain Jake Kleekamp on first base after a 2-out walk, and it's still Rivets 1, Traverse City 1, after 2.5 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the third inning in Traverse City, Michigan. It's the Pittsbitters 1 and the Rockford Rivets 1 on a cloudy day in northwestern Michigan. Ross Thompson, the Rockford starter, will square off against 9-1-2 in Traverse City's order, starting with the shortstop, Camden Traficante. Traficante, the freshman from Stetson in Florida, was 0 for 4 yesterday with an RBI groundout. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher, the first pitch, swing and a miss, 0-1. Traficante, a native of Florida, switch batter. Thompson working from the windup, nods at Kleekamp and comes home with the 0-1. Off-speed pitch chopped down to Zach Beatty at first base, fields it on 2 hops and takes 3 steps. Steps with his left foot on the first base bag for the first out of the top half of the third inning, bottom half of the third inning, excuse me. 1 away for the top of the order in Trey Truitt. Rivets 1, Pittsbitters 1. And Truitt is a guy you want to face with the bases empty, as the Rivets discovered yesterday. Truitt tripled and was 3 for 5. First pitch. Watches a fastball in the dirt. Truitt, the redshirt freshman at North Carolina State, did not play there this spring. 1-0. High chopper up the first base line. Thompson over to field it and flips underhand to the first baseman Beatty to retire Truitt. So 2 plays right up the first base side to start this third inning. And Thompson picks up a quick 2 outs in the home half of the third. That PFP coming in handy today. Thompson inducing 2 1-3 putouts so far. Now the inning comes down to Christian Foss, who singled and scored in the first. First pitch to the Grand Valley State junior. Called strike one on a fastball on the outer half. If you come from Rockford to Traverse City, you'll pass Grand Valley State. 0-1. Shot the opposite way into right field, and it hangs up long enough for Jared Herzog to make the play waist high in right. 6 straight have been set down by Rockford righty Ross Thompson, and we're still tied at 1 after 3 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Going to the top half of the 4th inning in Traverse City, it's the Rivets 1 and the Traverse City Pittsbitters 1. Game 4 of the Northwoods League season for both these teams. Traverse City undefeated at 3-0. They beat Rockford yesterday 11-1, so the Rivets looking for the series split. Gustafson will face the lower third of the Rockford order, starting with the left fielder Troy Tucci in his second plate appearance. The first pitch, fastball high for ball 1 as rain starts to come down at Turtle Creek Stadium. Looks like a few umbrellas have been opened in the seating ball. 1-0 pitch. Off-speed offering misses inside, and it's 2-0. Tucci flied out to right field to end the first inning with the bases loaded. Gustafson working quickly. The 2-0 is swung on and fouled back, and it's 2-1. Tucci's main goal for this season was to have fun, he told me. He got brought in on a 10-day contract for the Rivets as they continue to fill out their roster, and he's certainly been having fun. 2-1, swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Maybe not at the plate. Tucci now 1 for 12, but he's been working hard at it, and you can tell in this Rivets locker room he's a good veteran presence, the graduated senior from Rockford University. 2-2, poked into shallow right field. The second baseman Brewer shades out and makes the play backpedaling just in front of the right fielder Trey Truitt, who slams on the brakes and looks at Brewer as if to say, would have been a lot easier if I caught that ball. And there's one down in the Rockford 4th inning. Traverse City 1, Rockford 1. And here's Jared Herzog. Rockford Regents batting back-to-back in the 7 and 8 spots in JT Scarra's order. First pitch, fastball misses high and away. Rockford Rivets manager JT Scarra, a former Regent himself. The wind in the 1-0. Swung on and hit well into left field, and it sends Symington back a few steps. And he makes the play. Jared Herzog is retired, trying to go to the opposite field. A good thought, but he hit it right at the left fielder. There's 2 outs quickly in the top half of the 4th in a 1-1 ball game. And here's the pitcher, Ross Thompson. Rivets don't really have anybody available to DH, so Thompson batting for himself, and he watches a fastball on the first pitch high and away. Ball 1. Thompson struck out looking for the second out of the second inning. 1-0 on the way. Called strike. Fastball on the outer third. 1-1. Thompson with 2 strikeouts on the campaign. Gustafson back to work. One misses low and away. Gustafson now up to 74 pitches through 3 2/3. 2-1 offering. Fastball right down Broadway. Thompson not taking the bat off his shoulder. And it's 2-2. Steps out of the box, takes a check swing, looking at manager JT Scara. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gustafson picks up his 3rd strikeout and the 3rd out of the top half of the 4th inning. We're zipping along, but we're still tied. Rivets 1, Pittsbitters 1. After 3.5, you're listening to the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the 4th inning at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City with the Rockford Rivets and Pittsbitters tied at 1 apiece. Both teams scoring in the 1st inning. And Ross Thompson has settled in nicely. He's retired 7 straight Pittsbitters after giving up an RBI double to Colin Summerhill in that 1st inning. He'll square off against Miles Symington, the 3-batter, to start the home half of the 4th as the rain starts to come down steadily in the first pitch. Lined to the shortstop, Gutierrez, who thought about leaping, took a step backwards and made the grab. 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Here's Colin Summerhill, who did have that aforementioned triple in the 1st inning, which brought Christian Faust around home to score. Summerhill's 2nd RBI of the campaign. Ross Thompson working from the windup and delivers the 1st pitch. Fastball misses outside. 1-0. It's been raining off and on here in Northwest Michigan. A little bit of rain before we got underway. Then it stopped. Then it resumed for a few minutes, and now it's really coming down. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. Thompson's fastball command looking good tonight. I say really coming down with a grain of salt. It's coming down steadily but not super heavy. 1-1 pitch on the way to Summerhill. Gets to the backstop, past Kleekamp low and away. Maybe Thompson lost his grip on that baseball. But the thing about rain here at Turtle Creek Stadium is the field can handle a lot of it. It is an all-artificial turf field, including the pitcher's mound and around home plate. Colin Summerhill out ahead 2-1. And the next pitch misses outside. Thompson tried to go with the breaking stuff, and he's behind 3-1. Summerhill's triple went into left center field earlier between Troy Tucci and Peter Fusick. Here's the pitch. Shot the opposite way. Long run for the right fielder Herzog, and he watches it bounce just in front of the Rivets bullpen. Ross Thompson gets a new baseball. And he steps on the rubber to get ready for the 3-2 pitch as the rain continues to fall. It's on the way. Swung on and lifted into right field. Long run Herzog again near the line. Makes a running grab and slams into the wall. A nice play for the Rockford Rivets DH turned right fielder. And there's 2 down in the bottom of the 4th inning. Rockford Rivets 1, Traverse City Pittsbitters 1. Here's Johannes Hawkinson with 2 down. Hawkinson tapped out back to the pitcher in the 1st inning. Righty against righty. And he squares to bunt. He drops it down the third base line. Elliott charges, tries the bare hand, and can't make the play. I imagine it was very hard to get a grip on that baseball with the rain starting to come down. So Johannes Hawkinson reaches with a bunt base hit. 2 down, runner on now for Jake Arnold, who flied out to center field in the 2nd inning. Redshirt junior from North Georgia. Native of Peachtree City, Georgia. Wonder if they have peach trees there. He's got a hit in each of his first 2 games this season. Did not play yesterday. The first pitch misses low and away, and Hawkinson swipes second base without a throw. The pitch was in the turf, so Kleekamp didn't have much of a chance to get back up and make the throw. Thompson back on, working from the stretch, sets at the belt, gives a look at Hawkinson, and now comes home. Fastball misses upstairs, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Arnold played in 45 games this spring and hit .230 with 6 homers, 40 strikeouts and just 15 walks. Hit .267 for Traverse City in their pod last season. Thompson delivers the 2-0 pitch. Just misses the zone outside with the fastball. 3 balls and no strikes. Arnold taps the plate twice, leans back in the right-handed batter's box, sporting blue batting gloves. Rests the bat on his shoulder, stares out at Thompson. 3-0 on the way. Fastball right down the middle. Taken for strike 1. One thing to watch as the rain continues here in Traverse City is players' footing. When that artificial turf gets wet, it can be really slick. 3-1 pitch coming to Jake Arnold. Here it is. Fastball down the middle again, and Arnold was taking all the way, and the count is full. Would be a nice confidence boost for Thompson to get out of this. Go-ahead run at second base. Bottom of the 4th. Rivets and Pittsbitters tied at 1. Thompson fidgets with the baseball behind his back, comes set at the belt, and delivers the payoff pitch, and it hit Arnold on the elbow. And he's in some pain. Flips the bat back to the dugout in frustration, and now slowly jogs to first base. That brings up Adam Proctor, with Johannes Hawkinson on second base and Jake Arnold on first. 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Arnold continuing to work out that arm down at first base. As Thompson hit Arnold with a full count, that reminds me of something a pitcher said back in the day. I believe it was Nolan Ryan. He said, if you're going to walk somebody, why not just hit him with a pitch? Rather than intentionally walking them, or if you get behind in the count, just put them in some pain. I'm sure Thompson didn't hit Jake Arnold intentionally, though. Adam Proctor awaits the first pitch, and it misses inside. Thompson with a fastball inside at the knees. 1-0. Hawkinson with good enough speed to score on second base. Excuse me. Arnold a little slower on first base. Thompson sets, gives a look at the runner and delivers. Swing and a miss. A dirty breaking ball in the dirt. And it's 1-1. Proctor really swings hard with everything he's got in that left-handed batter's box. He popped out to second base for the second out of the second inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Thompson goes back to the curveball. This time Proctor lays off. 2 balls and 1 strike. Clouds continue to move overhead here at Turtle Creek Stadium. Rain continuing at about the same pace. Pretty steady now. 2-1 pitch. Fastball low and in, taken for ball 3. Proctor did not play yesterday. Has faced the Rivets a handful of times before. In 2019. Waves the bat around in the left-handed batter's box, and the Michigan State Spartan awaits the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a pop-up down the left field line, hooking foul. That one tailed a little bit too far away from the Rockford third baseman Wade Elliott and Troy Tucci, who was also in the area. Found some patio seating that the Pitts Bitters have here up the left field line. Really nice facility here at Turtle Creek Stadium. Ross Thompson has his sign. Ready for the payoff pitch. Runners go. Fastball misses low. And a walk is issued, and the bases are loaded. Hawkinson moves up to third base. Jake Arnold moves to second base, and Proctor now on first for Aiden Brewer with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Rivets 1, Pitts Bitters 1. And a base hit could change that. Brewer is 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field in the 2nd inning. Thompson retired 9 in a row before loading the bases. First pitch. Fastball in there, taken for a called strike. You got Miles Symington to line out and Colin Summerhill to fly out to start this inning, then allowed a single, a hit by pitch, and a walk. Brewer, the freshman second baseman from Hillsdale College at the D2 level. Here comes the 0-1, swing and a miss. Nice changeup from Thompson. Brewer way out in front, and it's 0-2. This feels like a big spot in this game. Not much scoring early. Certainly a pitcher's duel. Both pitchers laboring. Thompson now at 59 pitches. Rivets manager J.T. Scarra has 2 arms at his disposal out of the bullpen, but he doesn't want to use them till later. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. On a curveball in the turf, and Brewer went chasing. Ross Thompson strands the bases loaded in the bottom of the 4th inning, and we're still tied at 1 after 4 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Going to the 5th inning in Traverse City with Great Lakes East rivals Rockford and Traverse City tied at 1 apiece. Both teams scoring their lone runs in the 1st inning. Dylan Robertson coming home to score in the top half on a bases-loaded walk by Zach Beatty. And Traverse City getting their lone run on an RBI triple by Colin Summerhill. Top of the order, and Dylan Robertson up against Aaron Gustafson. First pitch lined into left field, and that drops in front of the left fielder, Miles Symington. And Dylan Robertson is 3 for 3 with 3 singles. The freshman from Iowa Western continues his blistering hot start to his 2021 Northwoods League campaign. So here's the shortstop, Daniel Gutierrez, facing a familiar foe in Aaron Gustafson. Gutierrez plays at Roosevelt. First pitch, he squares to bunt, and it drops in front of the plate and bounces foul. 0-1 on the shortstop. Gustafson plays at Olivet Nazarene. Both those schools at the NAIA level. Both in the CCAC conference. So Gutierrez gets another look at a rival here in the summer. 0-1. Swung on and popped up over the press box. Heard that one bounce on the roof a few times, and now it's coming back and falls off the roof, and a fan can't make the play. He had his glove ready and everything, but it's hard to predict when these things or where these things will roll off the roof. Gutierrez behind 0-2. Here's the pitch from Gustafson, but not before a long pause, and now it's on the way. Poked onto the right field side, tailing foul. Bounces into the Rockford bullpen, onto a grassy berm, where a number of fans chase after it. And we'll have another 0-2 pitch. Umbrellas abound if you look around the seating bowl here at Turtle Creek Stadium as the rain continues to come down. Very gray and overcast day that started bright and sunny. Gustafson sets, looks at Robertson at first and comes home with another 0-2. Misses upstairs. Back pick throw is not in time. Was way high to the first baseman, Jake Arnold, who had to jump to catch it. So Robertson still on first base. No outs. 1-2 count on Daniel Gutierrez with the game tied at 1 here in the 5th. 1-2 pitch. Fastball called, strike 3. It was on the outside corner to Gutierrez, who shakes his head as he heads back to the Rivets dugout. 4 Ks for Gustafson. And there's one down for Wade Elliott. Elliott 1 for 2 with a swinging strikeout and a single. Gustafson sets at the letters, and the first pitch is fouled straight back, and Elliott lost his bat again. If you were with us in the 3rd inning, you'll remember that Elliott did that in his 2nd at-bat before he ripped a single into the left center field gap, which was cut off by Johannes Hawkinson. And Elliott tried to stretch his single into a double. It didn't work out for him as he was gunned out by the center fielder Hawkinson. Now he's behind 0-1. Pitch on the way. Shot up the right field line into the concourse. Well out of play. And it's 0-2. The rain is coming down at a quicker clip now, and the raindrops look a little heavier. Gustafson gives a look at the runner and now comes home. Swung on and belted. Deep left field. Symington going back. He's at the track and he watches it bounce off the wall. Robertson is around third. He's going to get waved home. The throw to the plate is in time to get Dylan Robertson. Wade Elliott is safe at second base without a throw. It was a great relay throw from the shortstop Camden Traficante. And the go-ahead run is gunned out at the plate. Still tied at 1, now 2 outs in the top half of the 5th. And now it's up to Peter Fusick to try and untie it. Wade Elliott gave that one a ride. An aggressive send from JT Scara doesn't pay off. First pitch to Fusick. High chopper to shortstop. Traficante fields, throws hard, and doesn't get Fusick at first. The center fielder, Fusick, was busting it up the line. He's got great speed, and it comes into play there. The turf took a little too much out of that ball, bounced a little bit too high. And now there's runners on the corners for Jake Kleekamp. Rivets looking to make something out of this inning after Wade Elliott doubled off the wall, but Dylan Robertson was gunned out at home plate. Wade Elliott now on third base with Fusick on first. Kleekamp is 0 for 0 with 2 walks, and he swings at the first pitch and lifts it into right field. It's shallow. Truitt comes in. Got a beat on it and makes the play. So Rockford squanders some opportunities in the 5th inning as they leave runners on the corners, and Dylan Robertson is thrown out at the plate. The score remains Rockford Rivets 1, Traverse City Pittsbitters 1 after 4.5. You're listening to the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Still tied at 1 apiece as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning in Traverse City. Matchup between Great Lakes East opponents. Traverse City entering this one at 3-0. Rockford at 1-2 after winning on opening day. They've lost 2 straight with a shorthanded roster, just 13 players on this road trip. So it would be really impressive if they could earn a series split. Ross Thompson back out there working against the 9 batter, Camden Traficante, and he lines it back to the mound and snagged out of midair by Ross Thompson. Cat-like reflexes by the right-hander. 1 pitch, 1 out in dramatic fashion in the bottom of the 5th inning. Wow. Thompson standing at 5'11", 165, moves well. He moved out of the way, moved his body out of the way, reached his glove down and made the snag. Bases empty, 1 down for Trey Truitt. Lefty against righty. High chopper over the mound. Second baseman Robertson charges, bare hands, throws onto first and not in time. Almost had him, but Truitt just a little bit too fast. If it was any other runner on Traverse City, with the exception of maybe Johannes Hawkinson, that would have been the 2nd consecutive incredible play made by the Rockford defense here in the 5th. Instead, Trey Truitt reaches on an infield single. And here's Christian Faust. He's 1 for 2. Singled and scored the Pittsbitters' only run in the 1st inning and flied out to right in the 3rd. First pitch, swing and a miss. The runner goes. Throw down to second is not in time. Truitt's slide brought him well over the second base bag, as this turf is wet here at Turtle Creek Stadium. It's a bit like a slip and slide, and it's kind of ironic as the Pit Spitters in-game entertainment staff played a game earlier that was human bowling with a slip and slide involved. Thompson out in front 0-1. Here's the pitch. Curveball misses in the dirt. Truitt took a big move towards third base and now heads back as the rain comes down heavier. Now some fans are going to head towards the concourse and or the exits. It started relatively light before first pitch, then stopped, then started again in light fashion, and picked up in about the third inning and has been coming down at a steady rate since. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball popped up on the infield. Dylan Robertson, the second baseman, is under it, moves back, and makes the play. 2 outs, bottom half of the fifth. Rivets and Pit Spitters tied at 1 as now it's really pouring. We're watching the umpires here. They've not made any signal yet as Miles Symington moves towards the left-handed batter's box. Earlier, it was just raining steadily, and now it's pouring. But the artificial turf field can handle it here. That's not going to be the problem. The grip on the baseball will be the problem. Symington is 0 for 2 with a fly out and a line out. First pitch, swung on and belted deep into right field. Jared Herzog back at the track, and he watches it bounce off the top of the wall. Trey Truitt comes around third to score. Symington dives in safely into third. It's the second RBI triple of the ball game for the Traverse City Pit Spitters, and they take a 2-1 lead. It's been that clutch 2-out hitting for Traverse City, a 2-out triple in the first. Brought in the Pit Spitters' first run, and now a 2-out triple by Miles Symington in his Northwoods League debut puts the Pit Spitters on top. The rain continues to come down heavily as Colin Summerhill steps in. Right-hander against right-hander. First pitch. Fastball misses high and in, and it's 1-0. Looking at the cement concourse, which is uncovered here, puddles are starting to form, and the water is flowing. That's never a good sign. Still lots of umbrellas in the seats. 1-0 pitch. Fastball paints the outer half, and it's 1-1. 2 arms available today out of the Rivets bullpen. Chan Yao Ming and Cruz Wagner. Time is called, and we are in a rain delay. Home plate umpire Reggie Drummer says, "I've seen enough," and it is pouring. As the grounds crew here at Turtle Creek Stadium runs out onto the field to unfurl blue tarps over the home plate area and the pitcher's mound. The Rivets sprint to retreat into their first base dugout. Now the Pit Spitters coaching staff out to help cover up the mound and the home plate umpire, or home plate area. Again, it's an all-turf field here in Traverse City, so this field will be fine as soon as the rain stops, with the exception of it being maybe a little slick. We're in a delay with the count 1-1 on the Pit Spitters cleanup batter Colin Summerhill. And Traverse City just took a 2-1 lead over Rockford thanks to an RBI triple by Miles Symington. We will step aside and maybe take a look at the radar. We'll be right back on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to a rainy Traverse City, Michigan. We're in the bottom half of the fifth in the midst of a 1-1 count on Pittsburgh's catcher Colin Summerhill. But it's a rain delay. Pittsburgh's just took a 2-1 lead thanks to an RBI triple by Miles Symington. And once we resume, he'll head out to third base. Ross Thompson, the Rockford pitcher, had really been dealing up until this fifth inning, working out of a little bit of trouble in the fourth, stranding the bases loaded, striking out Aiden Brewer for his only strikeout of the day, which was certainly timely. And here in the fifth, he got the first batter retired on a liner back to the mound, which Thompson snagged. Gave up a single to Trey Truitt, drew a pop out to Christian Faust, and then gave up the triple to Symington. And he came around to score Trey Truitt. So again, it is a 2-1 ball game in favor of Traverse City. It looks like the rain is maybe slowing down a little bit. That noise you hear is rain draining off the press box roof, and it's coming down in clumps of rain, if you will, as it falls to the concourse and smacks on the concrete. Blue tarps cover the home plate and pitcher's mound, and that's all. That's the beauty of an artificial turf field here in Traverse City. And there are a lot of things I don't like about baseball on artificial turf, but this is certainly one of them. As soon as the rain lets up a little bit, we'll be ready to play baseball once more. Taking a look at the weather radar here in northwest Michigan. Some light rain started right around first pitch, let up for a little bit, and then got going right around the third inning and hasn't stopped since. It was a little slower in the beginning, and now it's coming down at a very steady clip. And looking off to our west, looks quite cloudy. And according to the weather radar, it looks like the heavy rain will continue. This rain is moving from essentially straight west to east, and there is more rain behind this current stretch that we're in. So it's not exactly spotty. It's kind of one big green blob on the weather radar. So that's not exactly encouraging, but we'll see how long we're in a delay here. I'm not entirely sure if this game is official yet. We're in the bottom of the fifth. I'll have to dig up the Northwoods League rule book on that one. But it is travel day for the Rockford Rivets as they will bus back to Rockford after the conclusion of this ball game. They'll square off against the Kokomo Jackrabbits starting tomorrow for a 2-game series at Rivet Stadium. And then the Rivets will hit the road back to Michigan to take on the Battle Creek Bombers for 2 games before heading to Kokomo to return the favor in a 2-game series in Indiana. We'll step aside. It's 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The delay started at about 8:11 Eastern Time. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning with a runner on third base, but the Pittsburghers just taking a 2-1 lead. We'll be right back on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Thanks for sticking with us. Back at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan, we're in a rain delay in the bottom half of the 5th inning, with the Rivets trailing Traverse City by a score of 2-1. Let me update my score bug there, and there it is. Now it's 2-1 on your phone, computer, television screens, wherever you're tuning in from today. We're in the middle of the bottom of the 5th inning, and Traverse City literally just hit a go-ahead triple before we entered this rain delay. Miles Symington tripling deep off the right field wall, which scored Trey Truitt. Then Colin Summerhill stepped in, swung at a pitch, took a pitch, and home plate umpire Reggie Drummer said, enough. We're going to head back to the dugouts, and we're in a rain delay. Rain delay started at 8:11 p.m. We've been in a delay now for 10 minutes. It's 8:21 in the Eastern time zone. And by multiple accounts, looks like we've got about 30 more minutes of rain left. So we'll see how quickly we get back underway. Not many off days built into the Northwoods League schedule, so this one will have to be made up if things don't work out in terms of weather to finish this game tonight. Looking ahead at the schedules for both these squads, Traverse City is going to head on a 6-game road trip. First to Kenosha, then to Madison, then back to Michigan to square off against Battle Creek. For Rockford, they'll head home to host the Kokomo Jackrabbits for a 2-game homestand. Then they'll travel to Battle Creek, which kicks off a 4-game road trip. 2 games against the Bombers, and then 2 games in Kokomo against the Jackrabbits. In case you're just joining us and wondering where baseball is, we're in a rain delay. Bottom of the 5th inning, Traverse City on top of Rockford 2-1. And both teams struck in the first inning. Rockford scored first on a bases-loaded walk by Zach Beatty, scoring Dylan Robertson, who started the game with a first-pitch single. In the bottom half of the first, Colin Summerhill had an RBI triple, which scored Christian Faust to tie the game up. And it was a pitcher's duel up until this bottom of the 5th inning when Ross Thompson surrendered that RBI triple. Looking at the Rockford bullpen today, it's a little deeper than it was yesterday. Chan Yao Ming and Cruz Wagner both available out there, as Rockford is dealing with quite the short-handed roster, traveling with just 13 players up here to Traverse City, and only a few relief pitchers available. And yesterday, manager JT Scarra didn't want to burn those arms as the Rivets got into quite the hole. They were losing 8-1 or so entering the late innings, so he pitched position players after James Raffoff hit over 100 pitches. Peter Fusick started off and pitched 1 2/3 scoreless. And then Zach Beatty took over and gave up 3 runs in the 8th inning. But as much as that may have been painful at the time for the Rivets, it certainly paid off, as now JT Scarra might be forced to go to his bullpen much sooner than he would have liked. Cruz Wagner pitched against Kenosha on Tuesday night. He's available. And Chan Yao Ming also pitched 1 inning on Tuesday night against Kenosha. The Rivets lost that game 16-3. So the Screws have lost back-to-back games by double digits, and it looks like they're going to have a good chance to win this one if we get back underway tonight. Again, we are in a rain delay, bottom of the 5th inning. I want to take you back to our pregame interview with Rockford right-handed reliever Cruz Wagner. In case that didn't air correctly, I know we endured some technical difficulties in the broadcast open, so I'm going to go ahead and toss that interview on. Here's Rockford right-handed pitcher Cruz Wagner. Here with Cruz Wagner on the Rockford Rivets pregame show. Cruz, the freshman from Milwaukee Area Technical College. You were on the Rivets last season for a few weeks at the tail end. How'd you end up back on the team for the summer?
So basically, I kind of got a text from JT late before the season started, and he was like, hey, you want to come back for a temp job? And I was like, of course. You know me, like anytime baseball is an opportunity for me, I'm going to take it. Love the game, love being here, love being in Rockford and stuff like that. Great organization. So I was like, of course I'll be back.
I know we were chatting earlier, and you weren't exactly planning on playing summer ball this year, were you?
No, actually I wasn't. At first I was originally planning on not really taking the summer off, but not really playing games anywhere because I had a lot of innings at Milwaukee and stuff like that. So I was going to give my arm a rest, but then, you know, I can't pass up this opportunity. Like, it's just too good of a thing for me, especially with me being in JUCO and looking for another school after this. Like, this would be a great opportunity for me to kind of get that other school and get more attention and, you know, better off myself for the future.
Yeah, certainly a lot of exposure comes with the league. Now, tell me a little bit about your season up at MATC. You know, you posted solid numbers. How'd that go for you?
MATC went great. We battled throughout the year. We had quite a few injuries and stuff like that, so the pitching staff was scarce. Zach Charbonneau is the coach. You know, he's familiar with the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders and stuff like that. Coming in, I was supposed to just be a one-inning closer in the, you know, the bottom of the 7th, bottom of the 9th type thing like that, but when the team needed me, Sharps approached me and he's like, hey, we need you to step up. We need you to throw a lot of innings for us. And of course, I was ready for it. So that's how that went. And, you know, pretty successful. I think I was about like 18th in the nation for Division III JUCO for ERA. So anytime that happens, you can, you know, always got to be happy about that. So yeah, it was good. It was good.
Certainly. I'm glad you brought up our mutual friend, Zach Charbonneau. What's it like playing for him up there? I know he's quite the character.
Zach is an amazing guy, an amazing coach. Definitely one of those coaches where he looks out for the players. It's kind of ironic. When you play under Zach Charbonneau, you don't really see him as a coach. You see him as like a mentor, like a father figure. Really looks out for us and like keeps, you know, make sure we're healthy. But obviously with being a JUCO coach, a lot of it is about pushing us to the next school. But when it comes to Zach treats us like family. You know, it's a great family atmosphere, and a lot of it comes on him and stuff like that, and the way he treats us and, you know, gets us off to good schools. So he's a great coach, great guy overall, just great person.
Yeah, certainly I can see that in my few conversations with him. Certainly a real nice guy. Now, down here in Rockford, you know, you've got a few teammates on the squad, Peter Fusick and the catcher Jake Kleekamp. When you've got a catcher coming from your junior college into a setting like this in the Northwoods League, how much more comfortable does that make you on the mound?
Oh my gosh, it's so much comfortable, especially with a guy like Kleekamp. Obviously, this was his first year at MATC, and we really bonded and stuff like that. But Jake's just a great teammate, great catcher. He knows what he's doing. So anytime you have like that, especially just being around Jake from, you know, previous times, it just makes my, you know, life on the mound so much easier. And especially with this being the Northwoods League and stuff like that, gets a lot of attention. Gets a lot of attention. So having a guy like Jake behind the dish anytime I'm on the mound, just sigh of relief. Great guy, great catcher, knows how to call my stuff, and, you know, we just work well. We work really well together.
From Milwaukee Area Tech to the Rockford Rivets this summer. Cruz, that's all I got for you. Thanks for taking the time, and good luck today out of the bullpen.
Thank you very much for having me, Larry. Appreciate it.
And we're back live at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City as the rain continues to come down, but it has slowed down a little bit. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning with the Pittsbitters on top of the Rockford Rivets 2-1. Thanks for joining us on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. And taking a look at the Rivets' depth, that has probably been their Achilles heel so far through 4 games of this season. Rivets manager JT Scara dealing with, you know, certainly a lack of depth, and especially in terms of arms. You know, sure, the Rivets have dealt with only having 9 position players or even 8 position players, pitching or tossing Jared Herzog, who's a 2-way player, out in right field for the games he has not pitched. But help is on the way, as the Rivets will receive 8 more players on their roster tomorrow, including a handful from the University of Illinois, 1 from Xavier. So stay tuned, and the Rivets will come home tomorrow to open a quick 2-game homestand with the Kokomo Jackrabbits. Great seats still available. Be sure to visit rockfordrivets.com to buy your tickets today. It's fireworks night on Saturday night, so why not? Buy tickets for both Friday and Saturday. Bring the family, bring your friends. bring whoever. Bring your neighbor, grandparents, bring your coworkers. It's always fun to spend a night at the ballpark. Taking a look at the Rivets bullpen situation again, Ross Thompson has gone 4 2/3, and he's looked really sharp, and this rain delay couldn't have come at a worse time as he was about to get out of the 5th inning. And now, as the rain continues to come down, Rivets right-hander Ruse Wagner, who you just heard on the interview, is tossing in the Rivets bullpen. So the end of the line has come for Ross Thompson as his arm gets cold on the bench with this rain delay, and that's really a bad break as Thompson was in shape to give the Rivets a really good chance to win this game. And now JT Scarer is going to be forced to make the call to the bullpen when this game resumes. We're not entirely sure when that is. We don't have a time on it. The rain is still coming down, but certainly lighter than it was when this game was delayed at 8:11 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:11 p.m. in the Central Time Zone. There's nothing like rain on getaway day. It's a travel day for the Rockford Rivets as they go back to Rockford tonight, so they don't have to travel tomorrow, the morning of another game day. We'll step aside for another break on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. We're in a rain delay, bottom half of the 5th, with Traverse City leading the Rivets 2-1. We're in a rain delay in the bottom of the 5th in Traverse City, Michigan. It's the Pittsburghers 2, Rockford Rivets 1. When we resume, the Pittsburghers will have a runner on third base with 2 outs in the home half of the 5th. Ross Thompson was in the middle of a 1-1 count on the 4-batter in the order, Colin Summerhill. And unfortunately for the Rivets, that will likely be all for Ross Thompson. Taking a look at his line, it was a good one. Thompson went 4 2/3, allowed 6 hits, just 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and 68 pitches. But he was sharp. You know, you don't always have to strike out batters or go after batters with power stuff. Thompson did a really good job of pitching to contact and retired 9 straight spitters from the end of the 1st inning through the middle of the 4th inning. And that really kept this game moving at a good pace before the rain hit. And now the rain has slowed to a drizzle, and players have emerged from the Rockford Rivets first base dugout, and the grounds crew has also emerged, and they have taken the weights off the blue tarps, which cover home plate and the pitcher's mound, but they have not removed the tarps themselves. So that tells me we're getting a little closer here at 8:37 Eastern Time. The delay started at 8:11 p.m., so approaching a 30-minute delay. Not the end of the world, but it is a travel day for Rockford, so they'd like to get out of here as quick as possible so they can get some sleep before they host the Kokomo Jackrabbits tomorrow night at 6:05 Central Time. It'll be Hruz Wagner, a righty, to take over for Ross Thompson when we resume. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard around the Northwoods League today. Taking a look at games in the Great Lakes East Division. Kenosha and Kalamazoo played at 11:05 a.m. today, and Kenosha took the ball game by a final score of 8-7, so the Fish sweep 2 games from Kalamazoo at Homer Stryker Field. In the top of the 6th in Kokomo, it's the Jackrabbits 12 and the Battle Creek Bombers 3. So it looks like the Jackrabbits will also come out with a sweep of Battle Creek, who is in danger of falling to 0-4. The Rivets will run into a hot Kokomo Jackrabbit squad who will be 2-2 when they head to Rockford tomorrow. Other action over in the Great Lakes West Division. Green Bay is behind Wisconsin Rapids by a score of 4-0 in the top half of the 6th at Whitterfield in Wisconsin Rapids. And at Capco Park, Lakeshore is on top of Fond du Lac by a score of 6-4. Madison and Wisconsin are tied at 1 apiece at Athletic Park in Wausau. Good battle between in-state rivals there. The Woodchucks have been really good so far this season, undefeated. The only other undefeated team in the Great Lakes Division outside of these Traverse City Pittsburghers, who are on top of the Rockford Rivets, 2-1 here in the bottom half of the 5th in the midst of a rain delay. Again, the rain is starting to slow, and things look promising around here as the weights have been taken off the tarps, but the tarps have not been pulled quite yet. Zach Beatty and Chan Yao Ming are out warming up in front of the Rivets dugout. Looks like they're having a little fun with it. Zach Beatty pitched yesterday, and now he's pretending to pitch to Chan Yao Ming. Chan Yao Ming, the second arm available out of the Rivets bullpen. And JT Scara would certainly like to save him for a save situation in case it got to that. Hruz Wagner can probably go around 40 pitches or so. He only threw 12 on Tuesday in the Rivets home opener against Kenosha, which the Rivets lost 16-3 as they pitched position player Troy Tucci in the 9th inning, and Tucci surrendered 6 runs to make that one look a little more lopsided than it already was. Thanks for joining me. Larry Larson in with you on the Rockford Rivets radio network on this road trip and all season long. So if you're a Rivets fan or you just enjoy listening, be sure to click that subscribe button so you're reminded whenever we come on the air for Rockford Rivets road games. You can catch every Rivets home game online on the Northwoods League Baseball Network, which is now free for all, as the league previously charged subscriptions. I believe it was something like over $120 for the entire season, and now it's completely free to watch. Those links can be found on my Twitter page at MLB Larry, and usually tweeted on game days from the Rockford Rivets Twitter account. Again, we're in a rain delay in the bottom of the 5th inning in Traverse City. It's been a very good ball game between Great Lakes East rivals, both teams scoring 1 run in the first, and Traverse City just pulling ahead on an RBI triple by Miles Symington in this inning. Both teams have emerged from their dugouts. A few players are out, and now a PA announcement has been made. 15 minutes until the game restarts. So that should be at about 8:55 Eastern Time. And a new development, Ross Thompson heads out to the Rockford bullpen. So he might get warmed up and come back in this ball game. That's encouraging for Rockford. We'll see how Thompson feels in the bullpen if he comes out to resume the 5th inning. Wouldn't surprise me if Thompson finished the 5th inning and then didn't come back out for the 6th. But we'll see. Hypothetically, he could only take one more pitch, and I'm sure that would be a good scenario for the Rockford Rivets. So Thompson resumes his warm-up process in the right field bullpen. No action yet in the Traverse City bullpen, as a few Rivets players come back from the visiting clubhouse, which is up the left field line. Rain still coming down lightly in Traverse City. I can tell by looking at the sidewalks along the concourse here, watching just a few raindrops fall. A far cry from the downpour that happened when the rain forced a delay of this game just about a half hour ago. We'll step aside once more. Baseball coming up at 8:55 p.m. Again, a 8:55 p.m. resumption for this one. Stay with us on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. It's Traverse City 2, Rivets 1 in the bottom of the 5th. Back at Turtle Creek Stadium, still in a rain delay, but we're nearing the light at the end of the tunnel. Set to get started once again at 8:55 p.m. after we got delayed at 8:11 p.m. And now some players are out with staff members for Traverse City doing the Cotton Eye Joe dance, and now it looks like some Rivets players are out there. Chan Yao Ming and James Raffoff are out there dancing with 4 pit spitters and 6 members of the pit spitters staff. I thought maybe it was going to be a dance competition, but I suppose not. And I got to hand it to Chan Yao Ming. He looks right in his element, despite the fact he may not have heard this song ever in his life, being from Taiwan. It's always good to see both teams having some fun in the rain delay. Earlier we saw 2 members of the pit spitters squad. I believe it was Trey Truitt and yesterday's catcher Miguel Useche coming out in front of the third base dugout to do a little bit of salsa dancing. And now players still doing their dancing out in front of the field, and they get a nice ovation from the fans as the dance wraps up. And now, looks like one of the umpires wanted to get in on the action, but dance party's over, and it's almost time for baseball to resume once more. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning with Traverse City leading Rockford 2-1. It's a 1-1 count on the number 4 batter, Colin Summerhill. Ross Thompson on the mound for Rockford, and looks like he's going to go back out there to at least finish the bottom of the 5th inning, and that's good news for Rivets fans because Thompson has been doing very well, not dominating by any means, but weaving in and out of jams, not blowing the smoke by anybody. He's got 1 strikeout, but just 1 walk, so his command has been very good, and he's done a good job keeping the pit spitters off the board at least until this bottom of the 5th inning. The Rivets have 2 arms available out of their bullpen. It's Chan Yao Ming and Cruz Wagner, both right-handers, both with dramatically different velocities. Wagner's fastball topping out around 85. Chan Yao Ming, on the other hand, can pump it 93. So that certainly plays to the Rivets' advantage, and they just have 13 players in their dugout on this trip. However, reinforcements are coming tomorrow, so JT Scare's lineup card will look a little different as the Rivets take the field tomorrow against Kokomo. And now they take the field once again for the warm-up before the rain delay is over. Ross Thompson headed back out there. The Rockford right-hander stays in the ball game after the rain delay. Certainly a welcomed sight. Just 3 pitchers available today for Rockford. Thanks for sticking with us on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Larry Larson in with you. Let's get a quick rundown of the Rivets defense once again before we resume. Wade Elliott at third base. Daniel Gutierrez, the shortstop from Roosevelt. Dylan Robertson, the freshman second baseman from Iowa Western. Zach Beatty at first base. Troy Tucci out in left. Peter Fusick in center field, and Jared Herzog out in right. And the battery, Ross Thompson and Jake Kleekamp. In case you're just joining us, well, you joined us at the right time as we're about to come out of a about a 40-minute rain delay. 8:51 p.m. Our delay got started at 8:11 p.m. Eastern Time. Both teams scored once in the first inning. The Rivets scored on a bases-loaded walk by Zach Beatty to take an early lead, which did not last long as Traverse City responded with an RBI triple by Colin Summerhill with 2 outs in the bottom half of the first inning. And then the pit spitters struck with another RBI triple in this 5th inning as Miles Symington tripled home Trey Truitt. The warm-ups are over, and we're about to get underway. It's still raining, but just drizzling, and that's the beauty of having a turf field here at Turtle Creek Stadium. We can play through the elements a little bit. Ross Thompson walks around the mound, rubs the baseball in his hands. Miles Symington heads to third base. Another run is 90 feet away for Traverse City as we get going. It's a 1-1 count on Colin Summerhill. The set and the pitch. A curveball in there for a called strike, and we are back underway at 8:52 p.m. A 41-minute delay. Now the count is 1-2 on Summerhill. Here's the pitch. Swung on and foul tipped. Just off the end of the bat of Summerhill. It almost looked like he swung right through the pitch, but it was a changeup with some late life from Thompson. And we'll have another 1-2 pitch. Summerhill, the freshman from Triton College, with a lot of pop from the right side. It's a dangerous bat, but Thompson has had his number with the off-speed pitch this at-bat. Here's another 1-2. Chopper to shortstop. Gutierrez fields, throws, and it's high. Beatty didn't step on the bag, and Miles Symington comes home to score. The Rivets get a bad break, and Traverse City adds another run. It's now 3-1 in favor of the Pitts Bitters in the bottom of the fifth with 2 outs. We'll see what that scored, but now Johannes Hawkinson steps up. 1 for 2 with a single. First pitch in there for a strike. Throw down to second as the runner goes. He got him. Summerhill tried to swipe second base, and his slide brought him too far. The throw was a little late, but he overslid the second base bag. Now the bottom of the fifth inning is over after a 41-minute rain delay and 2 Traverse City Pitts Bitters runs. Our new score, Traverse City 3, Rockford Rivets 1. You're listening to Rivets Baseball on the Rivets Radio Network. And we're back at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan, going to the top half of the sixth with a score in favor of Traverse City. 3-1. Rivets down by 2, and they'll send up 6, 7, 8 in their order, starting with Zach Beatty against a new arm. It's the right-hander out of Florida Gulf Coast, Cam Schulke. Native of Dorr, Michigan, stands at 5'11", 175 pounds. And we'll gather more information on him as we go along here in the top half of the sixth. Game was tied at 1 since the first inning until Traverse City scored 2 last inning. First pitch in there for a called strike to Beatty. It's the second side armor from Traverse City that the Rivets have faced. Schalke working from the windup, fires the 0-1 pitch. Slow curveball right down the middle. Beatty checked his swing, but it was a strike anyway, and is quickly 0-2. Beatty's 0 for 1 with a walk and a pop out. 0-2 pitch. Curveball misses outside, and it's 1-2. Schalke rocking the black socks, which can be seen thanks to high white pants. Here's the 1-2 pitch, sidearm delivery, swing and a miss, strike 3. Beatty set down on the change of pace. Schalke pulled the string on him. 1 batter, 1 strikeout. Here in the top half of the sixth, Pittsbitters leading the Rivets 3-1. Here's Troy Tucci, who's 0 for 2 today. Redshirt senior from Rockford University. The leader on this team in the early goings. Schalke winds and fires the first pitch. Tucci squares the bunt. It's out in front of the plate. Hard back to Schalke. He fields and throws in time to get Tucci by 4 steps. Score at 1-3. 2 up, 2 down. And here's Jared Herzog looking to start a 2-out rally. Herzog 0 for 1 with a walk and a fly out to left field, which came back in the 4th inning. First pitch taken low for ball 1. Herzog, a left-handed batter, 1 of 2 in this Rivets order. 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses inside. Schalke went over the top with that delivery. He can interchange the 2 deliveries. He can drop down sidearm with the curveball, or he can go over the top. 2-0 pitch, sidearm, is a fastball that runs a little too far outside. And it's quickly 3-0 on the Rockford right fielder. Herzog, the freshman from Ottawa, Illinois. The wind in the 3-0 pitch. Fastball catches the inside corner, and it's 3-1. Ross Thompson, the pitcher, looking like he's going to bat for himself. Should Herzog reach. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Slow curveball taken for a called strike 2. Herzog kind of tilted his head at that one, discussing that with the home plate umpire, as well as the catcher, Colin Summerhill. Schalke with the baseball. Quickly back to work. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It was an awkward swing from Herzog on a fastball in the inner half. He jammed him. And it's a 1-2-3 top half of the 6th for Cam Schulte and the Traverse City Pittsbitters. And the score remains TVC 3, RFD 1. You're listening to the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Going to the bottom of the 6th in Traverse City, and Ross Thompson, the Rockford starter, is still out there as he tries to go for his 6th inning of work after a rain delay. Thompson staying in there after this game was delayed 41 minutes in the bottom of the 5th inning. They'll square off against 5, 6, 7 in the TVC order, starting with Johannes Hawkinson, 1 for 2 with a single. Thompson cruised from the 1st to the 5th inning, tossing up zeros. First pitch to Hawkinson. Fastball down the middle, taken for a strike. Kleekamp dropped the ball, but it didn't matter. And it's 0-1. These two former Rockford Rivets teammates on last year's Rivets squad. 0-1 pitch. Thompson yanked a curveball, misses in the artificial turf, and it's 1-1. Traverse City scoring both their runs, or 2 of their 3 runs, excuse me. 1-1 pitch, fastball in there for a strike. Traverse City scoring 2 of their 3 runs on RBI triples. And their most recent run in the bottom of the 5th was on an error, throwing error by the shortstop Daniel Gutierrez, which allowed Miles Symington to score from 3rd. The 1-2 pitch, curveball in the turf again. Misses low and away, and it's 2-2. The on-deck batter, Jake Arnold, sprints out of the dugout for Traverse City to retrieve that baseball. Thompson gets a new one, steps back on the rubber. Ahead of the 2-2 pitch. He winds and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout of the ball game for Ross Thompson, who's generally a pretty good strikeout pitcher. Just hasn't gotten outs that way today. Nothing wrong with that. But now there's 1 out in the bottom half of the 6th. Traverse City on top of Rockford 3-1. Bases empty for Jake Arnold. Arnold, the redshirt junior from North Georgia, 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. First pitch, swing and a miss. Vanishing breaking ball, low and away from Thompson. And it's 0-1. Good to see Arnold still in the ball game after he was hit on the left elbow. Really looked like he was in some pain after that one. Thompson shakes off Kleekamp twice. Now he's got his sign. Here's the 0-1. Fastball misses low and away. And it's 1-1. Thompson working quickly as the rain continues to drizzle down on Turtle Creek Stadium. The wind in the 1-1. Curveball misses slightly inside. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Arnold is 2 for 8 this season for Traverse City. A returner for manager Josh Rebant. 2-1 pitch. Fastball finds the zone that time. Outer half, and it's 2-2. Arnold with a patient approach after he chased a breaking ball early in the count. We'll see if Thompson goes back to it here. He kicks and fires the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Fastball low and away. Thompson walks around the mound. Back-to-back strikeouts for the Rockford starter. 2 up, 2 down in the bottom of the 6th. Traverse City 3, Rivets 1. And here's Adam Proctor. Good to see Thompson still looking comfortable out there despite the long rain delay of 40 minutes. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter, the first pitch. Fastball for a strike. We were talking about Adam Proctor's power earlier. Won 2 home run derbies between Michigan State and the Lansing Lugnuts. Here's the 0-1. Backdoor breaking ball misses outside. And Proctor showed off that home run power in batting practice a little bit, finding the right field berm on a few batting practice home runs. The 1-1 pitch fouled off behind home plate. Looked like a fastball from Thompson, and it's 1-2. But the wind was blowing out all day here in Traverse City. Straight out to dead center field at Turtle Creek Stadium, which is traditionally a hitter's nightmare. 320 down the lines, 400 dead center in a college wood bat league is not great. 1-2, line down the first base line, and it gets past a diving Zach Beatty into right field. Jared Herzog plays it off the sidewall, throws it in, and Proctor slides in safely into second base with a 2-out double. So now there's a runner in scoring position for Aiden Brewer. Traverse City already up by a score of 3-1. Bottom of the sixth, 2 down. Brewer is 0 for 2 with a swinging strikeout and a flyout to right field in the second inning. Although 320 down the lines is not that deep in Major League Baseball, 400 feet to dead center is pretty standard. It's an adjustment for college players to get used to the wood bats. JT Scara is out of the Rivets dugout, and it looks like that might be all for the Rockford right-hander Ross Thompson. Scara out there to discuss. Conversations strictly between Jake Kleekamp, Thompson, and Scara. Rest of the Rockford infield standing and waiting. Now the home plate umpire Reggie Drummer is out to break up the party. Scara turns around and heads back to the dugout without the baseball. Cruz Wagner is up and getting hot in the right field bullpen for Rockford. A little bit of action for Traverse City in the left field bullpen. We'll see if Ross Thompson can get out of a jam. Runner on second base is Adam Proctor after a 2-out double. And now Aiden Brewer steps in. Right-hander against right-hander. Thompson sets at the belt and comes home. In there for a called strike. Nice fastball from Thompson. 0-1. Rivets have struggled to manufacture runs in the last 2 games. You don't want this hole any deeper than it already is. Thompson looks at Proctor and comes home. The 0-1. Cued off the end of the bat foul up the first base side, and it's 0-2. Thompson looking for his 3rd strikeout of the 6th inning. He entered the inning with just 1 strikeout. Thompson still in there after a 41-minute rain delay. He gazes in from the sign, for the sign from Jake Kleekamp. Comes set. 0-2. Called strike 3 on the outer half. Brewer thought it was outside, but it was straight paint from Ross Thompson, who claps his glove and points at Jake Kleekamp as the two exchange a high five in front of the first base dugout, and the score holds. It's Traverse City 3, Rockford 1 after 6 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Going to the 7th inning in Traverse City with the Pitts Bitters on top of the Rockford Rivets by a score of 3-1. 9-1-2 batters due up for the Rivets, starting with the pitcher Ross Thompson, who's going to hit for himself. And no, that's not really indicative of whether or not he'll come back for the bottom of the 7th inning, but it speaks more to the lack of bench depth for Rockford. Of course, they're playing without a DH, so to begin with, that's kind of a telltale sign, as that usually doesn't happen in the Northwoods League. Cam Schulke out for another inning of work. He's on the rubber, winds and deals the first pitch. Sidearm curveball misses low. Of course, Schulke can go from both a over-the-top angle and a sidearm 3/4 angle. 1-0 pitch, over the top, fastball called strike. On the outer black, and it's 1-1. Thompson is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. One looking, one swinging. 1-1 pitch, taken outside. Schulke went with a fastball from the sidearm slot, and it's 2-1. Approaching sunset. It's hard to tell here in Traverse City. It's been cloudy for most of the game. 2-1 offering. Nice curveball that sent Thompson leaning out of the right-handed batter's box, taken for a called strike, and it's 2-2. The sky on the horizon is a little pink. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a foul back. Thompson was way out in front of the curveball. We'll have another 2-2. But above Turtle Creek Stadium, the sky is very dark, navy blue, as the rain has now completely stopped. The wind and another 2-2. High chopper past the mound to shortstop. Traficante charges, throws on the run, stretched by Arnold. He didn't keep his foot on the bag, and Thompson beat it out. How about that? Thompson reaches on an infield chopper. We'll see how that one scored. It's a hit. An infield single for the Rockford pitcher. And now it looks like the umpires are going to congregate here. Not entirely sure why it wouldn't be the first base umpire to just stick with his call. And that's what they'll do after the huddle breaks up. First base umpire William Pascal had the best look at that. Reggie Drummer and Nate Hall agreed. And so Rockford has a leadoff base runner in the top half of the 7th. They're down 3-1 to the undefeated 3-0 Traverse City Pittsbitters. Rockford looking to avoid a 3rd consecutive loss after they beat Kenosha on opening day on Monday. Dylan Robertson steps in. Righty against left-handed batter. First pitch swung on and missed. Schulke went to the sidearm fastball, and it's 0-1. Thompson can move quick, but I don't like his chances on a double play ball. Pittsbitters shaded towards double play depth, especially Traficante at short, towards second base. 0-1 pitch from Schulke. Fastball low and away, taken by Robertson, and it's 1-1. Robertson with a very wide batting stance in the left-handed box. Back foot nearly on the chalk line, and front foot just inches away. Quick pickoff move to first base, and Thompson dives back safely. He quickly stands up, adjusts his stirrup on his left leg. Schulke gets the ball back and quickly jumps off and throws again. Schulke has the quickest pickoff move that the Rivets have seen yet this season. Gets the ball back, comes set, and delivers the 1-1. Swing and a miss by Robertson. It was an awkward swing. It looked like his back foot kind of moved a little bit in that left-handed batter's box, and it's 1-2. Schulke with long brown hair out of the back of his red Pittsbitters cap. Comes set and delivers. Just misses a hair outside. Schulke went back to the sidearm delivery, an off-speed pitch. Robertson with a very good eye. It's 2-2. Runner on first, no outs, top half of the 7th. Pittsbitters lead 3-1. 2-2, slapped foul to the left side, out of play. And Robertson stays alive. He's 3 for 3 with 3 singles. Last time, He singled. He was cut down at the plate on a Wade Elliott double. JT Sciarra trying to give the Rivets the lead. Another 2-2. Curveball misses high and away. And now the count is full. A great battle by the freshman from Iowa Western against the freshman from Florida Gulf Coast. Schalke has his sign. He's ready for the payoff pitch. It's on the way. Ripped foul down the right field line, foul. Robertson was way out in front of the curveball, and we'll have another 3-2. Rivets can't afford to waste many base runners at this stage in the game. Traverse City taking the lead with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Schalke's next 3-2. Fastball popped up down the left field side, giving chase Faust, and he watches it go into the seats. Robertson with a great battle. In a big spot in this one. Runner on first. Robertson taps the plate. Here comes another payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Robertson taps home plate with his bat before he walks back to the first base dugout. And now there's one away for the shortstop, Daniel Gutierrez. Third strikeout for Cam Schalke. First pitch to Gutierrez. Change up in there for a called strike, right down the middle. Gutierrez is 0 for 3 with a fly out, fielder's choice, and a looking strikeout. Schalke from the stretch. Fires the 0-1. Backdoor breaking ball, catches a part of the zone, and it's 0-2. Ross Thompson, the pitcher, on first base after a leadoff infield single. He's got a very small lead. Being held on by Jake Arnold. Schalke's ready for the 0-2. It's on the way. Swing and a miss by Gutierrez. He nearly stumbled out of the right-handed batter's box as he swung at a curveball that was well outside the zone. Back-to-back Ks in the top half of the 7th. Pit Spitters on top of the Rivets, 3-1. Pit Spitters looking for the series sweep. Now it comes down to Wade Elliott with a runner on first, 2 outs. Schalke's first pitch. Fastball for a called strike, right at the letters of Elliott, who's not the biggest fella in the right-handed batter's box, standing at 6 foot. Native of Edmond, Oklahoma. 0-1 pitch. Grounded sharply to third base. The third baseman Faust fields and throws to second base to retire Ross Thompson for the fielder's choice. That's all for the Rockford top half of the 7th. They can't do anything with a leadoff single by Ross Thompson, and it's stretch time in Traverse City. It's the Pit Spitters 3 and the Rivets 1 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the 7th in Northwest Michigan. It's Traverse City 3, Rivets 1, and JT Scara makes the move to his bullpen. Hruze Wagner comes on. The right-handed freshman from Milwaukee Area Technical College has one appearance for the Rivets. It came on Tuesday. He pitched a scoreless frame against Kenosha. Struck out one and walked one. He'll square off against Cam Traficante. The bottom of the order, first pitch. Swing and a foul off the mask of the umpire, Reggie Drummer. He shakes his head, grabs a baseball out of his pouch, and tosses it back to Wagner. Traficante is 0 for 2. The ground out to first base and a line out to third. The only switch hitter on this Pittsburgh's roster so far. Righty against lefty. 0-1. Slow curveball from Wagner. Taken on the turf, and it's 1-1. Wagner's velocity is nothing that'll blow you away. Fastball topping out at 85, but he does a masterful job with the off-speed. 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed at the top of the zone. Traficante got a slight piece of it, but nonetheless, it's 1-2. Wagner gets the ball back, shakes off his fellow MATC Stormer Kleekamp twice, 3 times. Now he's got his sign, sets at the letters, and delivers. Fastball misses upstairs. It's back even now at 2-2. Rockford really does not want to let this deficit swell anymore. Rivets only scored 1 run yesterday against a deep Pittsburgh's pitching staff. Wagner sets and delivers another 2-2. Fastball misses high and away. And the count is full. Chan Yao Ming getting stretched out, and the Rivets right field bullpen. A vast difference in velocity between the Rivets' 2 available relievers today. Wagner delivers the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed at a pitch in the dirt. Kleekamp picks it up and throws down to Zach Beatty at first base. And Camden Traficante is retired on strikes. 1 down in the bottom of the 7th. Pittsburgh's on top of the Rivets 3-1. Bases empty for Trey Truitt. Truitt 2 for 3. Redshirt freshman from North Carolina State, was originally committed to Eastern Carolina, but then switched and headed to North Carolina State. First pitch to him, fastball misses high, above the Pittsburgh's text on his jersey, and it's 1-0. Truitt was actually supposed to play in the Cape Cod League this summer, despite the fact that he's just a freshman. 1-0, swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Truitt with good speed, good defense, and a really good contact skill in the left-handed batter's box. Wagner delivers the 1-1 to him. Curveball in there for a called strike on the outer half, and it's 1-2. So Truitt was a highly touted draft prospect, coming up on his draft eligibility in a few years. 1-2. Lays off another curveball, that time on the turf, and it's 2-2. But Truitt was set to go to the Cape Cod League. And apparently his former coach at Eastern Carolina called up the coach in the Cape Cod League and said, don't take him. He transferred from us. And so now he's in the Northwoods League. 2-2 pitch, another curveball, again in the dirt. And the count is full for the second consecutive batter. Wagner got out in front of Truitt early. We'll see if he can't lose him. Payoff pitch. Fastball misses high, and Truitt is on board for the third time tonight. Brings up Christian Faust. 1 for 3 with a single. As the lights start to take full effect at Turtle Creek Stadium. Dusk descending upon Traverse City. Trey Truitt with stolen base speed on first base. Wagner sets and fires the first pitch. Fastball called strike. Upper part of the zone to Faust. Foss standing at 6 foot in the right-handed batter's box. Truitt with his hands on his knees at first base. Doesn't go, and the 0-1 misses high. Rivets infield, positioned at double play depth. Gutierrez on the artificial outfield grass. Robertson a little more shallow at second base. The 1-1. Nice curveball taken by Foss. It's 1-2. Wagner's got a little room for error here, but he probably doesn't want to fool around too much and lose him like he did Truitt. 1-2 pitch. Curveball just misses high and inside. The count is back even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Foss has 4 RBIs this season, half of which came yesterday against these Rivets. 2-2. Curveball grounded up the middle. Robertson field, steps on second for 1. The relay is in time to get Foss at first base. And Wagner faces the minimum in the bottom of the 7th inning and works around a 1-out walk to Trey Truitt. The score remains Traverse City 3, Rivets 1. Rivets need some runs. Stay with us on the Rivets Radio Network. Going to the 8th inning at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, with the Pitt Spitters leading the Rockford Rivets by a score of 3-1. Rivets will send up 4, 5, 6 in their order. Peter Fusick, Jake Kleekamp, and Zach Beatty against Cam Scholke, who's out for his 3rd inning of relief work. We'll see if the Rivets can crack him here. He struck out 4 Rockford batters so far. Righty against righty, Fusick steps in, first pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Looked like an off-speed offering from Scholke. The crafty right-hander doesn't have great velocity, but he'll get you with his versatility. Can throw over the top and sidearm. Winds and deals the 0-1. Curveball taken for a called strike. Fusick didn't even move from the right-handed batter's box, just held his hands right near his chest. Scholke working quickly. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Fusick is set down on 3 pitches. That's 5 Ks for Scholke in relief of Aaron Gustafson. Here's Jake Kleekamp with the bases empty. Rivets trailing by 2, the top half of the 8th. Kleekamp has reached twice thanks to walks. He also popped out to right field. First pitch, watches a fastball low that gets away from Colin Summerhill. I think it bounced directly off the catcher. Scholke and Summerhill must have gotten crossed up there. Summerhill on the roster listed as a catcher. He caught at Triton College as a freshman this spring, but he's been out in the outfield for manager Josh Reban in the first few games of this season. Kleekamp has the power to make this a one-run ball game with one swing of the bat. 1-0 pitch. Off-speed pitch misses outside, and it's 2-0. On the flip side of that coin, though, the Rivets need base runners, so we'll see if Kleekamp is swinging away on 2-0. The pitch, fastball in there for a called strike on the outer half, and it's 2-1. Now Kleekamp might have the green light. Schulke gets the ball back, shakes off his catcher twice, and now steps off the back of the rubber and immediately back on. The wind in the 2-1. Sidearm, misses outside. Schulke went to the changeup, in at 79 miles per hour on the gun, and it's 3-1. Kleekamp taps the plate twice. Here's a 3-1 offering. Slow breaking ball hammered into left, but right at the left fielder, Miles Symington, who takes one step in and retires Kleekamp with the grab. 2 up, 2 down in the Rockford 8th. It comes down to Zach Beatty with the bases empty. Beatty 0 for 2 with a walk, which brought home the Rivets' first and only run. First pitch to him misses outside. Beatty's a little frustrated with his performance so far in the Northwoods League. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. Schulke pulled the string on Beatty on an off-speed offering up in the zone at 69. Nice pitch there. Schulke working quickly, the 1-1. That time he comes back with a fastball at 80 miles per hour, and Beatty takes it for strike 2. Schulke wasting absolutely no time and comes home again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Schulke blows the heat by Zach Beatty and sets the Rivets down in order in the top half of the 8th. To keep the score, Traverse City 3, Rockford Rivets 1, going to the bottom of the 8th in Traverse City. You're listening to the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Back at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan, with the Rivets trailing the home team Pittsbitters by a score of 3-1. In case you're just joining us, both teams scored in the first inning, with the Rivets pushing across a run on a bases-loaded walk, and Traverse City scoring on an RBI triple by Colin Summerhill. And then the Pitt Spitters took the lead with 2 runs in the 5th inning. Chan Yao Ming is in out of the Rivets bullpen, making his 2nd appearance just a week to the day after arriving in the United States for the first time ever. On Tuesday, Chan pitched 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, and struck out 2 Kenosha Kingfish in a scoreless inning. He'll face 3-4-5 in this Pitt Spitters order, starting with Miles Symington, who drove around Trey Truitt on an RBI triple in the 5th inning, his last time up. He's 1 for 3 on the day, left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Chan Yao's ready and delivers his first pitch high and away. 1-0 on the redshirt junior from Purdue. Yao Ming back on the mound, has a sign from Kleekamp. 1-0. Swinging a foul back, and it's 1-1. Chan Yao Ming's repertoire features a fastball that can top out at 93 miles per hour, in addition to a nasty splitter that we might see in strikeout counts. The kick in the 1-1. Fastball misses high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Chan sporting bright red cleats with the Rivets black and gold stirrups. 2-1 delivery. Fastball misses outside, and it's 3-1. Symington is a dangerous hitter. His triple almost got out for a home run in the 5th. Bounced just off the top of the right field wall. Yao Ming ready for the 3-1 pitch. It's on the way. Fastball misses outside, and that's ball 4. Leadoff walk in the Traverse City 8th. Brings up Colin Summerhill. We talked about his triple back in the 1st inning. It was shot into the left center field gap. Got past both Troy Tucci and Peter Fusick, and it proved to be costly. Double play in order. Traverse City on top of the Rivets 3-1. No outs, bottom of the 8th. First pitch. Swinging a sharp ground ball foul down the 3rd base side. And it's 0-1. Summerhill walks around. Looks like that one may have gotten a piece of his shin guard. So he stretches it out a little bit. And now steps back in the right-handed batter's box. Chan sets at the belt and comes home as the runner goes. Pitch misses outside, and Kleekamp can't even throw it. Kleekamp stumbled out of his crouch as the pitch missed low and away, and it's 1-1. An insurance run is 180 feet away, and Miles Symington on second base. Chan gives a look at the runner and fires the 1-1. Fastball misses low and away. And now Kleekamp calls time to try and calm down his Taiwanese right-hander. Both guys sporting bright cleats. Kleekamp's in MATC orange and Chan Yao Ming's in Taiwan red. Chan Yao Ming pitching in college in Taiwan. Doesn't have any plans to pitch at the college level in the United States. Just over here for the summer. Quite unique. Hitters count, 2-1 pitch. Fastball bounces on the turf, stopped by Kleekamp. Symington stays where he's at. And now Kleekamp goes back out to the mound. I think the two are crossed up with signs. Now everybody has a laugh out on the mound as Reggie Drummer goes back out there to check on the party. 3-1 count on Colin Summerhill. Back-to-back 3-1 counts to start the outing for Yao Ming. 3-1 offering. Fastball grounded sharply to second base, past a diving Dylan Robertson. Symington's around third, and he's going to score without a throw. It's an RBI single for Colin Summerhill. His second run batted in today. And the Pitt Spitters lead burgeons to 4-1. Not the outing that JT Scarrow was looking for out of his back-end bullpen arm from Taiwan. That brings up Johannes Hawkinson. Still no outs in the bottom of the 8th. It's been a closely contested ball game, but the Rivets are now going to need to rally, and rally big in the top half of the 9th. The first pitch to Hawkinson, swung on and fouled just off to our right in the press box. Will it come down off the roof? Some fans wander over to see, and it won't. Out of the stadium. 0-1 on the former Rockford Rivet. Summerhill with a few step lead. He was caught stealing earlier, doesn't go here. The 0-1 is swung on and missed. Nice tailing fastball from Chan Yao Ming. Talking with Jake Kleekamp, he says that Chan is very hard to catch because he got a lot of run on the two-seam fastball, and his splitter is very unpredictable, similar to a knuckleball. 0-2 pitch, swung on and fouled straight back again as Hawkinson stays into battle. Beatty holds on Summerhill at first base. Double play is in order. Yao Ming has his sign. His next 0-2 pitch. Taken in the dirt. Summerhill takes off for second base. The throw is too high. Tag not applied till Summerhill is on second base. And another runner is in scoring position for Traverse City. Hawkinson had an RBI yesterday, his only one of the season so far. He singled in the 4th, 1 for 3. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball shot into right field. Herzog has a beat on it and makes the catch. Summerhill tags up from second base, and he moves up to third. An out that's as good as a bunt for Hawkinson. And that's just the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning for Traverse City. 1 run already in, 4-1 Pitt Spitters, with Jake Arnold stepping to the dish. Arnold flied out to right in the 2nd, was hit by a pitch in the 4th, and struck out swinging against Ross Thompson in the 6th. Rockford infield draws in. First pitch. Broken bat, pop fly, past first base, and Beatty makes the over-the-shoulder grab. What a play by the 6'6" first baseman, who is playing in front of the first base bag, ran backwards, and never turned around to catch that ball. I think he caught it with 2 hands with his back towards home plate. Now there's 2 down with Summerhill on third base, and Adam Proctor steps up. Pitt Spitters on top of the Rivets, 4-1. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. And the first pitch from Chan Yao Ming. Fastball misses way outside. Kleekamp using full extension to snag that one. 1-0. Rivets looking to avoid a 3rd straight loss. Pitt Spitters looking to move to 4-0. 1-0 pitch. Fastball outside. 2-0. Traverse City will hop on the bus tomorrow for a 6-game road trip. Rockford will host Kokomo for 2 and then head to Battle Creek for 2. 2-0 to Proctor. Swing and a miss. Fastball up in the low 90s. The upper part of the zone. Proctor wanted it. He didn't get it. Proctor's 1 for 2 with a walk. He doubled his last time up, but was left stranded in the 6th. Chan's 2-1 pitch. Fastball outside. That's been Chan's miss, is that two-seam fastball just running too far outside to the left-handed batter, Proctor. Michigan State Spartan awaits the 3-1 pitch. It's on the way. Fastball outside, and it's a 2-out walk. Runners on the corners now for Aiden Brewer. A good amount of the crowd is stuck around at Turtle Creek Stadium, looking around the navy blue seats in the seating bowl. A few loyal Pittsburghers fans are still here. And it is $2 beer, $2 hot dog night every Thursday that the Pittsburghers are home. And who wouldn't want to stick around for a $2 beer after a 40-minute rain delay? The fans are pretty rowdy up here. Got some good smack talk for players. The first pitch, fastball in there. I was talking to Rivets catcher Jake Kleekamp yesterday, and he said the fans were giving him a good amount of grief. There was a travel baseball team sitting directly behind home plate, and that's always fun for opposing teams. Here's the 0-1 to Brewer. Fastball just misses low, 1-1. Looks like Yao Ming's fastball command has settled down. Proctor on first, Summerhill on third. Pittsburghers up 4-1 on Rockford. 2 down, and the 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. Brewer couldn't catch up to the high heat, and it's 1-2. Chan Yao Ming looking to escape this 8th inning without surrendering another run. 1 run already in, another 90 feet away. He sets at the belt. Here comes the 1-2. Fastball misses inside, and Proctor takes off and swipes second without a throw. The delayed steal was on. Josh Rebant likes to do that. He's a pretty crafty manager over in the Traverse City dugout. He's been known to pull off squeeze plays. In 2019, the Pittsburghers walked off 5 times on their way to a title. They did so once on a suicide squeeze bunt. 2-2 pitch to Aiden Brewer. Fastball outside. Kleekamp stumbles and knocks that one down. Probably saved a run there. And with first base open, it's a full count. No arms available behind Chan Yao Ming. The Rivets will get reinforcements tomorrow, but they traveled with just 13 players. It's a far cry from Traverse City's near full roster. Payoff pitch to Brewer. Swung on and ripped up the middle, and it falls into center field for a base hit. Summerhill scores, Proctor around third base, and he scores standing as well. It's a 2 RBI single for the hometown hero, Aiden Brewer. And it's now 6-1 Pittsburghers. So Chan Yao Ming surrenders 3 runs so far here in the 8th. Still 2 down for the 9-batter Camden Traficante. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Chan Yao steps off the back of the mound to gather himself. Shakes off Kleekamp once. Shakes him off again. Now he nods. Comes set at the belt. And fires home. Fastball hit Traficante. So the line keeps on moving, and the order flips for Trey Truitt as the 8th batter of this Pittsburghers 8th inning. This has been a common theme for Rockford, things falling apart in the late stages of games. It happened in Rockford's 16-3 loss to Kenosha on Tuesday. Happened yesterday when the Rivets surrendered 3 runs in the 8th. 3 runs already in this 8th inning. Trey Truitt has reached 3 times. 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a walk. Bases juiced. First pitch. Misses outside. Truitt, a great talent for Josh Rebant. He's only on a 10-day contract, though. We'll see if he sticks around. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Good fastball from Chan Yao Ming. Very effective. It's 1-1 on Truitt. Native of Charlotte, North Carolina. The set and the 1-1 as the runner takes off. Throw down to third. Throw down to second is not in time, excuse me. Bases were not loaded there. No runner on third base. That would explain why Brewer took off for third. So Traficante swipes second after the hit by pitch. And Brewer swipes third. So a base hit could score two more. 2-1 count on Trey Truitt. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside. And it's 3-1. I think these Rivets will be happy to get back to Rivet Stadium. Things are going to get easier for them after this series. Traverse City, on the other hand, road trip, might throw a monkey wrench into things. 3-1, misses outside, and now the bases are loaded. Second walk of the game for Trey Truitt. And here's Christian Faust, the 9th batter of this 8th inning. Still 2 outs. Traverse City on top of Rockford 6-1. 3 runs in here in the 8th. Chan Yao Ming getting roughed up. Now it looks like the home plate umpire, Reggie Drummer, is going to show something to Chan Yao Ming. It looked like he said not to wipe the baseball off on his pants, and Drummer handed him a new baseball. It's always interesting because there's lots of discussion about foreign substances on baseball these days, especially at the major league level. First pitch to Faust. Fastball misses inside, and the third baseman jumps out of the way. 1-0. Faust is 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored back in the first. Yao Ming sets at the belt. Fires. Fastball low and away. Check swing. Did he go? No, says William Pascal, the first base umpire. It's 2-0. Nowhere to put Christian Faust. And Chan Yao Ming has thrown 35 pitches here in this inning. 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses inside. That 35 pitch limit is trouble because that means he cannot come out and pitch another inning after this. Northwoods League has strict pitch limit rules. 3-0 pitch. Fastball misses low, and it's a bases loaded walk for Christian Faust. Taking a look at this inning. Started with a walk, then a single, and then Chan Yao Ming retired Johannes Hawkinson and Jake Arnold back-to-back. And then he walked Adam Proctor, gave up a single to Aiden Brewer of the 2 RBI variety. Hit by pitch to Camden Traficante. And now a walk to Trey Truitt and Christian Faust. It's officially a scorebook mess here in the Traverse City 8th. As they've batted around, and the leadoff batter in this inning, Miles Symington, steps to the plate once more. Brewer scores on the walk. Traficante to third. Truitt to second. Faust now at first base as JT Scarra comes to the mound to try and send a message to the battery. The dilemma there is Chan Yao Ming does not speak much English, and predominantly he uses a phone translator app to communicate with coaches and teammates. You know what? Baseball is a universal language. First pitch to Symington. Swung on and popped down the left field line. Tailing foul. 0-1. As the rain starts to spit a little bit, as night has descended upon Turtle Creek Stadium. Lights in full effect now. 0-1 on Symington, the redshirt junior from Purdue. Takes a fastball outside. Chan Yao Ming says his favorite MLB pitcher is Yu Darvish, the Japanese superstar, former Chicago Cub. And the two deliveries are similar as he kind of squats as he comes home. 1-1. Swung on and fouled back, and it's 1-2. Chan's a strike away from getting out of it mercifully. 4 runs in the bottom half of the 8th. Lots of insurance for this Pittsburgh squad. They lead 7-1. Bases juiced. 2 down, bottom of the 8th. Crowd makes some noise. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just misses outside. It was a good pitch from Chan, but Symington displaying good plate discipline, not going around. Chan sets at the belt. Kicks and comes home. Fastball outside, and the count is full again. Symington started the inning with a walk and eventually came around to score. Traverse City fans having a little fun here. Somebody's yelling like Fred Flintstone in the seats. Might as well have a little fun. It's Thursday after all. 3-2 pitch, popped foul, and we'll do it again. Turtle Creek Stadium, formerly the home of the Traverse City Beach Bums of the Frontier League. They folded in 2018 when a group that owns the West Michigan Whitecaps came in and bought the franchise and turned it into the Traverse City Pittsbitters. Yao Ming sets at the belt and delivers another 3-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back, and we'll have a third payoff pitch. I was actually exchanging messages with a former Traverse City Beach Bum, Josh Hauser, a Belvedere High School alum in the Rockford area. He was telling me how much he loved Traverse City. You can't beat it in the summer. Weather's almost always nice. Of course, not tonight, though. Payoff pitch, misses outside, and it's another bases-loaded walk issued by Chan Yao Ming. Crowd loves it. Rivets don't. It's getaway day. The Screws are going to head on back to Rockford after this. So the longer this inning goes, the more that departure is delayed. Traficante scores on the walk. It brings up Colin Summerhill. Bases loaded. First pitch misses low and in. Traverse City now leads 8-1. 5 runs here in the bottom of the 8th as we hit 10 o'clock Eastern time. Yao Ming sets, kicks and fires the 1-0. Chopper down the third base line, foul. Was real close. Wade Elliott gave it a good look, reached out for it, but luckily for the Rivets it was foul. Counts at 1-1. Trey Truitt on third base. Christian Faust at second. Miles Symington on first base. Just 2 hits in this Traverse City 8th. 1-1 on the way. Misses upstairs. Yao Ming just cannot find the zone. I don't think nerves are a factor, although they might be. Yao Ming predominantly a closer in college ball over in Taiwan. So he can do it. 2-1 pitch. Fastball line through the left side and through for a base hit. Truitt scores. Faust right behind him. And the throw is way up the first base line. So Faust is safe at the plate. It's a 2 RBI single for Colin Summerhill. He's got 3 RBIs today. And the Pittsbitters hit double digits for the second consecutive game against the Rockford Rivets. Well on their way to what's likely to be a 2-game series sweep. So here's Johannes Hawkinson with a runner on first and second. First pitch, fastball misses inside. Hawkinson flied out to right earlier in this inning for the first out. He's 1 for 4. Rivets could use another fly out. 1-0, misses inside. Taking a look at this date in baseball history, this is a fun one. In 1939, Joe Spins fractures his jaw when he attempts to catch a ball dropped from a Goodyear blimp 800 feet above the ground. 2-0 pitch, swing and a foul tip, and it's 2-1. That had to have been some sort of world record attempt. And I know that famed ball hawk or foul ball guy Zach Hampel did a similar stunt and wore a catcher's mask and eventually successfully pulled it off. Ball was dropped from a helicopter. 2-1 pitch. Fastball on the inner half of the plate, taken for a called strike. And Chan is once more a strike away from getting out of it. Shakes off Kleekamp. Now he's got his sign. And the Taiwanese right-hander comes home. Curveball taken for a called strike 3. Hawkinson didn't like the call. He's discussing it with Reggie Drummer. A civil discussion, and Drummer gives Hawkinson a pat on the back. And so the bottom of the 8th mercifully ends 7 runs. Man, I thought it was a little less severe than it actually was. 7 runs in the pit spitter 8th inning, and this thing is broken wide open. It's going to take a miracle for the Rivets to come back. Last chance for the Screws going to the 9th. You're listening to the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Last chance for the Rockford Rivets as they need 9 runs to tie and 10 to take the lead in the top half of the 7th in Traverse City. Top half of the 9th, excuse me. Spitters on top by a score of 10-1, and manager Josh Rebant hands the ball to Corbin Morrison to shut it down. Morrison pitched yesterday against the Rivets. Went 1 scoreless inning, walked 1, and struck out 1. 3 pitchers today for Traverse City. After they pitched 5 yesterday, Rockford also with 3 pitchers. This one got out of hand in the bottom of the 8th. Chan Yao Ming surrendering 7 earned runs. First pitch to Troy Tucci. Curveball misses low. Corbin Morrison, the left-hander from Tennessee, working to the redshirt senior from Rockford University. 0-1, misses outside. Tucci's 0 for 3. 2 flyouts and a tap out back to the pitcher on a bunt attempt. Morrison winds and fires the 2-0. Curveball in there. More this date in baseball history. In 1967, Harmon Killebrew hits the longest home run in the history of Metropolitan Stadium in Minneapolis. 2-1. Bender again misses, and it's 3-1. It was 503 feet off the bat. I don't think any of these college players could do that. 3-1, misses upstairs, and Rockford has a leadoff walk. Troy Tucci with good speed. He's now on first base. Brings up Jared Herzog, the right fielder. Herzog is 0 for 2 with a walk. And the pitcher's spot waits on deck. Nobody out of the Rivets dugout yet. Herzog leans out of the way of a curveball that misses inside. And it's 1-0. Morrison is a big left-hander, standing at 6'5", 205. Kind of built like a famous, now former Tennessee Volunteer in the big leagues. 1-0, misses upstairs. Garrett Crochet, the current White Sox flamethrower. The mechanics are not similar, though, as Crochet features a huge leg kick. It's really unique. 2-0 pitch. Herzog leans out of the way again, and it's 3-0. Morrison in danger of walking the first two batters in this Rivets ninth inning. Chan Yao Ming is now on deck. He'll take an at-bat, his second of the season. 3-0 pitch to Herzog. Misses outside, and it's a 4-pitch walk. So back-to-back Rockford Rivets on loan from the Rockford Regents at Rockford University draw walks to start this top half of the ninth inning. Traverse City on top of Rockford 10-1 on their way to completing a 2-game series sweep. Rockford about to lose its third straight. Here's Chan Yao Ming. First pitch, misses upstairs. Chan looks comfortable in the right-handed batter's box, steps out of the box and takes a practice hack. Waves the bat around twice, leans back, puts the bat on his shoulder. Now brings it off with the hands held out in front. 2-0. Fastball in there for a called strike. Excuse me, that was the 1-0 pitch, and the count is now 1-1 strike. Tucci with good enough speed to score from second on a single, the 1-1. Off speed, misses low and away to the big right-handed batter. 2-1. Morrison sets it to letters and comes home. Swung on and popped into center. Hawkinson has a beat on it, right under it, makes the play. Tucci fakes towards third and doesn't go. That's the first out of the inning. That was a leisurely swing by Yao Ming. And it really kind of went a long way for such a light swing. Kind of looked effortless, similar to his pitching delivery. And now there's one away with two on for Dylan Robertson, the Rivets leadoff batter. Robertson has 3 singles today and a strikeout. A 3-for-4 day for the freshman from Iowa Western Community College. It's been the Rivets' best batter so far this season. Here's the first pitch. Turns away from a curveball that misses inside, and it's 1-0. Robertson taps the inside part of the plate twice, the 1-0 pitch, and that time it hit him. Fastball ran in, and the bases are loaded for Daniel Gutierrez. Don't call it a comeback. Rivets looking to score their first run since the first inning, when Zach Beatty walked with the bases loaded to score Dylan Robertson. Troy Tucci on third base, Jared Herzog on second, Dylan Robertson on first. Gutierrez steps in 0-for-4, struck out his last 2 times. The first pitch in there, taken for a called strike. Gutierrez, the redshirt sophomore from Roosevelt University at the NAIA level. 0-1 on the way. Swung on and poked into left field, falling fast, and that one is going to drop onto the turf. Tucci comes home to score. Right behind him is Herzog. And Robertson stops at third base, and Gutierrez is on first with a 2 RBI single. That's a way to salvage a day. And the new score is now Pittsburgh's 10, Rivets 3. Rivets with 3 runs on 9 hits. Traverse City with 10 runs on 10 hits. Runners on the corners for Wade Elliott, who has 2 base knocks, along with a strikeout and a fielder's choice. First pitch to the right-handed batter, sweeping curveball in the artificial turf, taken for ball 1. Morrison working quickly, and fires the 1-0. Misses inside. Now perhaps the most infamous this state in baseball history. Sammy Sosa in 2003 broke his bat to reveal it was corked. 2-0. Jam shot off the fist into right center field. Hawkinson long run. He makes the running grab. Robertson tags from third and scores without a throw. Sac fly for Wade Elliott. Nice piece of hitting, shooting it the other way. That's exactly what you want to do with a runner on third base. And now it's 10-4 in favor of the Pitt Spitters. But the Rivets showing a lot of good fight and heart, and that's what happens when you got a lot of junior college D3 guys. They don't take this opportunity for granted, and that's not a knock on any Division I player either. First pitch in there, taken for a strike by Peter Fusick, who has 2 base hits today. 2 outs, top of the ninth, 3 runs in. Next pitch, fastball misses up and in, and it's 1-1. Rivets down to their final out, though. Gutierrez still on first base, the 1-1. Breaking ball didn't break for Morrison. Brings Summerhill out of his crouch. And Fusick takes it for ball 2. Fusick with long hair in the right-handed batter's box, 2-1. Takes a curveball strike, 2-2. Rivets are down to their final strike. Fusick, a very analytical guy about the game of baseball, has worked on his swing all this series. 2-2 pitch, curveball just misses low. Pitt Spitters faithful thought it was strike 3. Spitters are a strike away from moving to 4-0. Full count on the Rockford center fielder. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed. Ball in the dirt, picked up and thrown to first, and that's the ball game. Peter Fusick is retired at first base after a dropped third strike. And despite 3 runs in the Rivets' 9th inning, the Screws fall short by a final score of 10-4. We'll be right back in Traverse City with the totals after this. You're listening to the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Rockford falls to the Traverse City Pitt Spitters by a final score of 10-4 on a cool and rainy evening in Traverse City, Michigan. Let's take a look at the final lines in this one. First for the victorious Traverse City Pitt Spitters. 10 runs on 10 hits, 1 error, and 7 left on base. Rockford, 4 runs on 9 hits, 1 error, and 9 left on base. The pitchers of record, Aaron Gustafson gets the win against his hometown team. The Rockton, Illinois native went 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, 1 run. It was earned. He walked 4 and struck out 4. The losing pitcher is Ross Thompson. He gets the tough luck loss after he really looked good. In 6 innings of work, he surrendered 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, walked just 1, and struck out 4 pit spitters. The Rivets fall to 1-3, now a 3-game losing skid after they took opening day against Kenosha. Traverse City improves to 4-0 on this young Northwoods League season, the only undefeated team remaining in the Great Lakes East Division. Traverse City gets it done in front of roughly 500 home fans in 3 hours and 34 minutes with a 41-minute rain delay. Up next for the Traverse City Pit Spitters, they travel to Kenosha for a 2-game set starting tomorrow. And Rockford will hop back on the bus tonight to get set for a 2-game homestand against the Kokomo Jackrabbits starting tomorrow at 6:05. And we hope to see you at Rivets Stadium. Tickets still available on RockfordRivets.com. That about wraps it up from Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan. Again, the final. Traverse City 10 and the Rivets 4. This is Larry Larson saying thank you for listening and so long. This has been a presentation of the Rockford Rivets Radio Network.